came to Baltimore, Yordano Ventura shut the O's down. He baffled the Orioles hitters and struck out 8 birds on the night and left the game after 8 shutout innings en route to a win. And tonight, here in Kansas City, he's on the mound again. Can the Oriole bats figure him out and get the better at Ventura this time? We'll find out next, right here on Massive. It's the Orioles on Masson tonight on a cool and breezy night in Kansas City. It's the Orioles and the Royals. Tonight it's Game 1 in a 4-game series. And hi, everyone. I'm Jim Hunter. Jim Palmer in a moment. And as the Orioles begin this road trip tonight, they are looking to snap a 4-game losing streak, and they're looking to do it against a team that shut them down in a series in Camden Yards a couple of weeks back. And the Royals dominated that series with their pitching. KC took 2 out of 3, held the Orioles to a 198 batting average. The Royals outscored the Birds 16-6, each team with a home run. But the bottom line there, the difference, the ERAs, 4.82 for the Oriole pitchers, 1.65 for the Royals. And Jim Palmer, it's that old story. What shuts down what, pitching or hitting? Well, in that series, it was the pitching.
Well, usually good pitching will stop good hitting. The one thing, the Orioles have really struggled offensively at home, but on the road, they're over 5 runs a game. So this is going to be a big test. If you look at overall last 6 games against Kansas City, 3 runs or less, and that started last summer. So, it's funny about Ventura. A lot of times you think, well, second time, we're going to be able to get to this guy, but he's probably has the best fastball in baseball as far as velocity, 96.6, power curveball. I started talking to Ryan Flaherty. I said, did you face him the last time? He said, oh, did I ever? Electric stuff. So the other side of the coin, though, is, Wei Chen has really pitched well for the Orioles. They get him over 7 runs a game, so we'll kind of see. We got a real young guy at 22. Wei Chen has pitched well against Kansas City, but never beat him.
Well, the Orioles in the first 38 games have had a hard time getting the entire lineup to click at the same time. They've had hitters get hot, then cool off. Right now, Adam Jones is one of those hitters who is really heating up. In his 9-game hitting streak that he brings into tonight's game, a .368 average, 4 home runs and 8 RBIs. That's a good sign. He's also getting it done small ball-wise. 11 infield hits, the most in the American League, and real good numbers at runners in scoring position. Jim, the Orioles need that bat to produce in the middle of the lineup.
Well, what they need to do is for him to do what he's been doing, and the infield hits, because they're usually 2 strikes. He's done a really good job. I mean, he's starting to hit home runs. Hit a home run against the Tigers the other night. But again, the bottom line, here's it off Smiley, the only run the Orioles get. So what he is able to do is, if he hits home runs, what he does and does so well is, how about Chris Davis hitting behind him? That's really the important thing. And Adam is hot. He was on the team bus today chirping. So the bottom line, he's ready to play. But this is a huge ballpark. But again, anybody, I saw Reggie take and Lee May hit 2 of the longest home runs ever. You can hit home runs here. It's just not as easy as Camden Yards.
So tonight it's Game 1 in the 4-game series. When we come back, we'll visit with bench coach John Russell on the state of the Orioles catching. It's the O's and Royals on Massive. Southwest Airlines. Find Southwest Airlines fares online only at southwest.com. It is the O's and Royals first of four, and of course with Matt Wieters on the disabled list, there has been a shifting of the responsibilities at catcher. Wieters, 22 starts, still leads the club, but he hasn't caught a game since May the 4th. So the backup Steve Clevenger is now number one, and Caleb Joseph is called up from AAA. He's now the backup. And I spoke with the Orioles bench coach John Russell about Clevenger and his habit of looking over to the bench before every pitch and why he might do that.
Well, I think, just to make sure, that he's not going to miss anything. He wants to make sure that Buck's not doing anything. And, if there's any sign that he might need to get, obviously they look over when guys are on base because I give them the throw-over signs or the pitch out or inside move, whatever. So they're required to look over then. But occasionally late in the game, he'll check in just to make sure that there's not something that we want to do, whether Buck wants to walk somebody or, just reassurance that, nothing's going on. So I think it's just a comfort factor right now. The more he catches, I think the more confidence he'll gain is that he's kind of learning his situation, learning the pitchers a little bit more, learning, the league a little bit more. And, as that goes along, then I think he'll relax. The same way with Caleb. Matt looks over, obviously for the signs, but, just to make sure that, he'll do the same thing. Now, not every pitch, but, I think they're just now, they're not nervous. It's more of, I want to make sure I'm not missing anything. So, it's a young catcher, and those are some of the things you have to deal with. And, again, like I said earlier, it's a process. And unfortunately, sometimes you have to go through that process at the major league level, and that's what these guys are going through.
They're both very good at framing pitches. They've gotten the pitchers several calls since they've come up. Is that just something they're good at, or did they develop that in the minor league system here?
Well, it's one of the things we worked very hard on in spring training. Matt and I, we're talking about it last year. We talked about it over the winter. I told him some of the things I really wanted to do. And day one of spring training, I think we worked more on receiving this spring than we have in years past. Because I wanted to make sure that we understood what we were doing, as far as presenting the ball. And to me, presentation to the umpire is your biggest key. Is you got to present balls to be strikes. You got to present strikes to be strikes. And the closer we can get a ball to the plate, the better off for us. We worked really hard, and these guys really dug in spring training, and we talked about it daily. Matt was a great resource because he's been back there. He knew the umpires and what they look for. So we developed a routine each day, and these guys worked real hard on it. And I think we're really starting to see a lot of good results this year because of it. And I have to attribute that to the hard work these guys put in, and they're each time we come in and, if there's a pitch that we think we should have gotten better, we'll talk about it and how could we caught that differently. But they've done a nice job with it. They're carrying over what we really worked hard on in spring training, and, we look to carry it through the rest of the year.
There's John Russell with Caleb Joseph. And Jim, probably impossible to have somebody just walk in and replace Matt Wieters, but Clevenger's doing a real good job, and Caleb Joseph as well as the backup.
Well, if they don't get the blown save with Caleb Joseph, he would have started 3 games. He had Jimenez the other night, and he was all kinds of compliments and accolades because of the way he not only called the ball, but what you just talked about, and John Russell talked about, framing the pitches. So the one thing that the last maybe 2 weeks or so has not been about the pitching, because the starting pitching has been pretty good. We've had a couple blown saves, but the pitching has gotten a lot better. Dave Wallace comes on along with Dom Sheedy as the respective pitching coach and bullpen coach. Let's throw a lot of fastballs, and if you throw a lot of fastballs, it's easier to umpire. It's easy to frame those pitches, and then all of a sudden your pitching gets a little bit better.
So the first of 4 against Kansas City. Here's our Train game time temperature. Visit trainsearch.com to find a local Train comfort specialist dealer. It's hard to stop a train, really hard. 74 degrees. Doesn't feel like that because of that wind. 18 miles an hour out of the southeast. 73% humidity, but it is mostly clear. Really a lovely night overall for baseball. Let's get a look at the Orioles Southwest Airlines starting lineup, brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Find Southwest Airlines fares online only at southwest.com. Nick Markakis in that leadoff spot, 5 for 11 with a couple of ribbies in that first series against the Royals. Machado, Jones, and Davis with Cruz DHing, and Clevenger, Hardy, Flaherty, and Lowe. It is a left-handed heavy lineup tonight for the Birds.
And that is because Ventura doesn't really struggle because he's got great stuff. But see a lot of fastballs, that breaking balls, the curve ball, changeup for a young pitcher. He's only 22. very, very good, and he throws, anywhere from 64 to almost 70% of those pitches for strikes. So there are the numbers. Did get beat by a couple of home runs up in Seattle. Justin Smoke and then Ackley, the two left-handers, part of their lineup. They hit home runs. Of course, he only lost 3-2. So he pitched well. This will be his 11th start, and the Orioles certainly know what they're up for after that game back on the 25th of April, where he did go 8 innings, 7 hits, a couple of walks, which is again is impressive, and the 8 strikeouts.
He's making his 11th big league start. He has 2 big league wins. He has never won here in his home ballpark. This will be his 5th career start here. He has an ERA of 2.18. Kauffman Stadium still doesn't have a win.
Well, this is a great place to pitch, and he used to come in here when they used to have AstroTurf, so maybe not so good, especially on one of their 102-degree days. You walk in from left, and you could actually see the heat rising from the turf. So this is one of the more beautiful ballparks, especially older parks. They've remodeled it, but if you're pitching versus hitting, great place to be.
And Markakis goes after the first pitch and fouls it back. Nick is looking to snap out of an 0 for his last 14. He was hitless in the Tiger series. First time since last June that he's gone hitless now in 3 straight games.
Well, so you hit an 18 straight, and you get an idea of how difficult. And so you go from 94, maybe you had a chance to hit it, and then he goes to another gear already for the second pitch. And that's what you like about this kid. And then in the back of your mind, if you're an Oriole hitter, I mean, this is very tough to see at this particular time. The lights haven't taken effect. He still has 2 other pitches. And so 94 to 98. Average fastball 96.6.
That's good.
Yes. And if it moves, there's the curveball. If it moves, then it may, at least the illusion may be that it's going to be somewhere in the middle of the plate, and then either the late life or the side-to-side movement makes it even better. If you can have location and velocity and movement, and then have 2 other pitches to go with it.
2-2 is ripped into left field. There's a base hit. So Markakis is on with the leadoff single. Well, Ventura dominated the Orioles at Camden Yards, and the skipper was asked about how is it that the youngster was able to do that.
If you have command of 1 pitch, you can compete. If you have command of 2 of your pitches, you're going to win. If you have command of 3 of your pitches, you're going to dominate. So that's what happened. He had command of 2 or 3 pitches that night with that. It's not just pure velocity. Guys can turn around a bullet up here. If you sit there at 97 and that's all you can get over, guys are going to turn that around. But it's the other part of it that really presented a challenge. And there's no advantage for us. If he does that again, he'll present another challenge.
Yeah, Machado fouls it back, and it's 0-1.
But I think it does give you an advantage. I think one of the hardest things, especially against good hitting teams, I mean, the Orioles have been struggling at home on the road, as we mentioned in the opening, over 5 runs a game. But they now know. They know does the ball have life or not? Is it what Buck said, just a velocity? So, you got Manny back. And meanwhile, while he was shutting out the Orioles for the first 8 innings, they were getting 5 runs for him.
Mm-hmm.
So the Orioles would like to get on the board early. Wei Chen, again, the run master, with over 7 when he pitches.
Ball on a strike on Machado. Good cut there, and he fouled it back, 1-2. Ventura, 22 years old, out of the Dominican Republic, came through the Kansas City system. The Royals starters have been tremendous on the year. Their ERA 3.45 as a staff, 3rd best in the league. Machado bounces it towards 3rd, and that's a foul ball.
And then the bullpen is joining the parade. I mean, you're looking at a team. I mean, obviously different faces. Santana now, Irvin Santana now pitching for Atlanta, but they did lead the American League in earned run average last year. And their bullpen, over 19 innings in a row now, scoreless. And then you get to a guy, Greg Holland, who 58 out of 60 saves. So he's been.
And Machado with a base hit to center field on a 1-2 pitch. So here we go, back-to-back singles to begin the game for the Orioles.
Well, take a look at their defense, and it's a very mobile one. Gordon, Kane, and Aoki. Valencia, we saw Danny playing 3rd base. Moustakas with the 3-run double to win. Very good defender. He's on the bench tonight. Escobar, Gio Vitella, and then Hosmer, who won a Gold Glove, and then the Salvador Perez, another Gold Glover, doing the catching. So there's a couple of good at-bats here. You know, Nick Markakis a little bit late on the first 97-mile-per-hour fastball, fought it off to left, and then it looked like it was a changeup to Manny Machado. And you know, I was talking to Manny as we got on the plane yesterday, and there were some pitches yesterday that when he gets to see more, having been on the disabled list, he's not going to miss, and that was one of them.
Adam Jones a little late on that swing, 0-1. Adam right now is red hot, 9 in a row, 14 hits in the hitting streak. 4 home runs and 8 RBIs, and in the 9 games, Jimmy's got 4 multi-hit games. So his bat coming along for the Birds. Let's get a look at our Jeep inside the numbers, and the O's on the road, as Jim mentioned, outstanding.
Yeah, that's how it all translates. I mean, look at that, batting average #1, runs #4, and then the slugging certainly very good. Of course, Colorado roared in here too, leading the world in runs. And
there's a bouncer towards short. Escobar to second, one back to first, is in time for a double play. Machado tried to upset Giovitella at second, but he got that ball so quickly he was able to turn it around, so 2 down.
Yeah, it looks like a pretty quick infield right here, and I mean, there's the key right there. Giovitella, he's able to get out of the way, and I mean, right up, get out of harm's way. Hosmer, big target, Gold Glove first baseman. So with one pitch, looked like the Orioles, yeah, and he did come off out of that slide limping. And that's certainly not good news.
So here is Chris Davis, and he's facing the man who helped contribute to send them to the DL. The game that Chris had the oblique strain was against Ventura in that game on April 25th. He had 2 at-bats, then left the game.
Yeah, there's some thought. I mean, he was saying that, you know, he might have aggravated it, or initially aggravated, when he dove for a ball up in Boston and then trying to catch up with 97.
Too tight, he looked it over.
Well, you're going to see Perez as you look at right here. I mean, with the highest slugging against rookie pitchers. And so there's Chris Davis at 601. And of course, the one thing he's done very well, home runs certainly not. We've had, what, 19 in the first 2 months. Of course, he wasn't on the DL last year, hitting with runners in scoring position. He's not missing any pitches. It's rather obvious what they're trying to do to him, Jim, and that's anytime you hit 53 home runs and you hit driving 138, they're going to make adjustments, and that's going to be up and in. This kid has it, but my point to him was how many guys can command their fastball up and in. So you look away, and there's a changeup and a fastball count. So don't give the pitchers too much credit. It's very difficult to hit as if you have 2 strikes, and that means you have to cover everything. Let's see what kind of pitch he gets to hit here.
Well, 3-1 on Davis. He got the fastball and he missed it. 3-2. Ventura averages about 9.5 strikeouts per game, and he only allows an average of just over 10 base runners per 9 innings. It's tough to score if you can't get on. Markakis at third with 2 down, and a bloop down the left field line, and that ball is fading foul.
Yeah, his whip, which is walks and hits per inning, is at 1.11. And that is low. A couple of years ago, Chris Tillman, the year he came up, 2012? At the All-Star break was 105.
So full count on Davis with 2 down. And he got it. Foul tip held by Perez, and the inning ends. 2 hits and 1 left. We'll head to the bottom of the first as Wei-Yin Chen gets set to go to work. watching in tonight from beautiful Damascus, Maryland, located in Montgomery County, and of course home to Damascus High School and their dozens of state championship teams. All part of Birdland, Damascus, Maryland. Ooh, ice cream cones. Here's a look at the Royals lineup for tonight. Aoki, Hosmer, and Butler with Salvador Perez in the cleanup spot. He's been on a tear over the past 10 games. Gordon, Valencia, Giavotella, then Kane and Escobar against Wei-Yin Chen.
So Wei-Yin Chen, you can see a lot of fastballs, and he can pitch in, wind blowing from left to right, in on the righties. That's not a bad idea. The curveball, slider, that's the breaking ball, and then changeup's up this year. It's up about 3%. What Dave Wallace coming on as pitching coach, number one, you're more comfortable to your glove side, which means into righties. Let's locate the other side of the plate. He's done a nice job of that. So you can see the left-handers, they have the numbers much better, but he faces many more right-handers. But then again, the home runs all by the right-handed batters. He has never won, even though he has pitched very well against the Royals.
Here's Aoki, the right fielder, takes 2 tight, 1-0. Aoki at 267. He is a slap hitter. And he bounces it to Machado at third, who is playing tight. And on 2 pitches, 1 down in the first. Well, let's see. Who does what against Wei-Yin Chen?
Well, Billy Butler, he hit, everybody said he had an off year last year, maybe for him, but he hits him well. Kane hits him well. And Moustakas not playing, nor is Pedro. And then the other guy that hits him well, Hosmer, he had a 3-1 lead in the 8th inning. Hosmer hit a 2-run home run to tie. The Orioles would end up losing last summer. And you can see they get him up real early because, again, he's off to a really good start.
Hosmer is tied for 4th in the league with 48 base hits, and he's got 15 multi-hit games already. And a little bit low. Here's the home run Jim was referring to.
Yeah, 3-1. The Orioles had won the first game of this series, and he just belts one right over the sprint side, and then he doesn't have to sprint around the bases. He just kind of walks. And
big bouncer to first. Davis takes it himself, and 2 quick outs.
take a look at the Oriole defense. A couple of good defenses here at Kauffman Stadium. There we go. Lowe played last year for Kansas City. Boy, he's a plus defender. Jones, Markakis, Gold Glovers. Machado, the Platinum Gold Glove. Hardy, a couple of Gold Gloves. Ryan Flaherty gets to play tonight at second. Chris Davis actually played like a Gold Glover last year, not to mention the home runs and RBIs. And then Steve Clevenger, as we showed you in our pregame interview, doing a very nice job behind the plate. Plus, when he gets the lumber, hitting ball.
So Butler bats with 2 outs and nobody on, and Chen misses low. Butler, big-time career numbers against the Birds. Oh, outstanding changeup there. 1-1.
Well, they tried to encourage Wei and Scotty McGregor and Billy Castro last year. The same thing is that you throw so many fastballs. We showed you 65 of them. I mean, this one's up, but the arm speed was really good, so he still gets fooled.
Oh, and that goes behind Butler.
And Billy going, well, wait a minute. And that will get your attention, and I don't mean in a positive way, because that's not real easy to do, but it is a very blustery night here.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe the temperature a little bit cooler than you're used to.
Yeah, the ball's a bit slicker.
Yeah. And he doesn't throw a lot of 2-seam fastballs. He will throw some 2-seamers. I always felt that in slick weather, when the wind's blowing and the temperature's in the 50s, that's probably you get a little bit better feel. This is one of those hitting counts, and gets the outside corner.
One thing the Orioles have not done, and in part because of this ballpark, is hit home runs. They have just 18 as a team on the year, the fewest in the entire league. Chen, of course, does a good job of keeping the ball in the ballpark for Buck Showalter and the Birds. Payoff pitches bounce to short. Hardy waits on it. Butler hustling, the bounce, and Davis is there. Wei-Yin Chen has a 3-up, 3-down inning on 3 ground ball outs. Led to the second in Kansas City, no score. Horn of Baltimore has won $500 for being selected and will win $500 more for every Orioles home run hit tonight. Play the scratch off from the Maryland Lottery. For your chance to be a contestant of the game, you could win a trip to see the O's play at Wrigley Field or a trip to the MLB World Series. Learn more mdlottery.com/Orioles for the Orioles scratch off. Nice Thursday night in Kansas City. Buck Showalter says this is one of his favorite ballparks on the road for his team to come in and play. He said they thought of everything here. And there's Ventura, 20-pitch first inning, but he got out of it without allowing a run. Orioles had first and second, nobody out, and didn't score.
Yeah, and if you're Ned Yost in your bullpen as well, and you have a young pitcher, I was looking at his innings. I mean, he raced AA, AAA last year. I mean, so he got about 147 innings. So they will watch the pitch count. They obviously will let him pitch 6-7 innings. Again, when you have a back end of a bullpen, because they're thinking, because this is a team that did win 86 games, that hopefully they will get back into the race. Maybe the Tigers won't continue to win 2/3 of their games, 24-12, and maybe they can get back to where they were last year, where they were in contention coming down the stretch.
A ball on 2 strikes on Cruz. And it's inside. Well, Nelson is on the list among the home run leaders in Major League Baseball. He has been doing a tremendous job at driving in runs off the home runs. Got 33 ribbies on the year, and he takes a strike 3 on the outside corner.
Yeah, when you can ride the ball in the strike zone, and that's what he did last inning, especially to Chris Davis, and then you can throw this pitch. Knee high outside third of the plate. And then again, well located and nicely framed by the Gold Glover, Perez.
So a second strikeout for Ventura. Here's Steve Clevenger. He's got that batting average up to 300. And he'll take a strike, 0-1. Clevenger making his 14th start at catcher tonight. And Jim, he's been on a tear over the past 4 games.
Well, leading the team in doubles, and it really doesn't matter. I mean, all over the ballpark. And I think what's going to happen, especially when you start to have the kind of at-bats he's had, and you saw him against the Tigers, he doubled down the line, hit a single up the middle, and then doubled to right center field, is that they're going to probably start throwing him a lot of stuff in, play him shallow and left, and then try to get him with breaking balls out of the strike zone. Now, that's the normal pitcher. Ventura is not your normal right-handed pitcher you're going to see. But we've seen him also be able to, because it looks like he understands he's not a power hitter.
He gets into this one to center field, chasing Lorenzo Cain, and he'll run it down.
Yeah. That's another factor here. Huge ballpark. He hangs a curveball, and normally, if you have a normal center field, Cain was their best, and they had 3 Gold Glovers. The guy they felt was probably the best defensive player for him last year. And he just took a double, and in this ballpark, maybe a triple, even though Clevenger doesn't run well, away from the Orioles. Because he's playing in left center, and he just made that play look routine.
Yeah, the breeze is blowing out that way and didn't even help the ball. Here's Hardy, and there's a strike.
See, when you have those kind of defensive skills, whether you're Cain or Gordon, who's perennial, he's won 3 Gold Gloves and left, you don't have to overplay, because you can actually run balls down.
Slice foul down the line, 0-2 on Hardy.
So that's a 99. And it's an easy 99. He's only 6 feet, about 180 pounds.
And up and in. Consecutive plate appearances without striking out, and J.J. Hardy putting the ball in play, Jim. He's at 24. Alcides Escobar, the Kansas City shortstop, right now has the longest streak at 37. And J.J. works the count to 2-2. Hardy was 6 for 24 on the homestand, but did not have an RBI. And he rips it down the line. That's a base hit. That one's heading for the corner. Hardy's thinking 2, and he's going to make it, as that one goes all the way to the wall down the line. So J.J. Hardy with a 2-out double.
Yeah, I would imagine you have a young catcher. Perez just turned 24. Ventura at pitching just turned 22. You throw a 99 and you throw him a changeup. So you speed the bat up. You're playing off the line if you're Danny Valencia, because why would you expect him to pull the fastball? But when you throw a pitch where your defense is not playing and he hits it well, like JD did, and he says, thank you very much. I'd much rather hit a 87 mile per hour changeup in the middle of the plate than 99 trying to get on it. So now you just have to figure a way to get him in.
Here's Ryan Flaherty, who went 1 for 3 against Ventura in the game in Baltimore. And it's low, 1-0. Ryan started on Sunday against the Astros. He took it 0 for 3. He's got 5 hits and 3 RBIs in his last 5 games. With Jonathan Scope emerging as the everyday second baseman, Ryan's playing time has been dropped back. Good take there, 2-0.
That's like one year we had a reserve outfielder, Tommy Chope. He got Tiant one month, Gaylord Perry the other month, and then Nolan Ryan in his no-hitter the other month. Go get him, Tommy.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.
Swings through the 2-0 pitch. Well, Buck Showalter has 5 left-handed batters on his active roster, and all 5 are in the lineup tonight. Although when you look at the splits, lefties, yeah, they bat better than righties, but they're at 215 against them versus 185 for righties.
Yeah, I think the thing he's looking, Danny Valencia can't get to that ball, is that he's thrown 5 home runs, 4 by lefties. And, you know, Buck Showalter, he knows exactly what he did in his last start. Probably saw some of the film. And then Smoke Ackley, both left-handers for the Mariners. And as it turns out, the wind is favoring the left-handed hitters tonight. As far as blowing from left to right.
And I'm not surprised that was the first thing you noticed when you walked in here today.
Well, no, I didn't want to run up the exit because I was walking in with Wei and Chen. I didn't want to get him nervous.
Flaherty pops it up foul near the Oriole dugout, and that's going to be back in the crowd.
But that is a very good call, because especially, you know, Fenway, Tiger Stadium, first thing you do, you get off a team bus, and this is a little bit more ample. I mean, in those ballparks, you would literally walk off the street. You know how Fenway is. I mean, you're maybe, 150 feet from going up the runway to the ramps to actually see the film. And the first thing you do is you don't want to pull a calf muscle, but you sprint to the top to see which way the wind's blowing. Here you don't worry about it quite as much.
2-2 on Flaherty with Hardy at second. And a weak ground ball toward short. Escobar charges, throws on the run, and gets his man in the inning end. So the Orioles strand another as Hardy doubles in his left at second. Mid-second in Kansas City, no score. Look forward to Miller time later in tonight's game, brought to you by Miller Lite. Wei and Chen, how about this first inning? 3 up, 3 down on 3 ground balls. Took him 11 pitches.
Very efficient. We like that. And one of them was a 3-2 pitch to Billy Butler.
Well, Chen.
Well, yeah, you know the theory. And, you've heard Dave Wallace, the new Oriole pitching coach, and it's not like it's a novel theory, but he would like to have, and he's been encouraging this, and it's not that Rick Adair didn't do this, and it goes all the way back to George Bamberger, Harry Keene, Ray Miller, try to get a guy out within 3 or 4 pitches. And this is the perfect park to do that because it's not like Camden Yards. You can pitch to center field, feel like you have tons of room in the alley, so it's a little bit easier to at least have that aggressive mindset when a batter faces you and walks to the plate.
There's Salvador Perez to lead off. Gordon and Valencia will follow. And there's strike one, best pitch in baseball.
So he turned 24, hit a home run on his birthday.
Tried the check and he fouled it off, so Chen ahead 0-2. Perez had a big year last year. 13 home runs, 79 RBIs. And he doesn't chase, and it bounces in there, so 1-2.
But the only number that kind of jumps out to you, and it's surprising, because 2 years ago he hit 300, is the 156 with runners in scoring position. I mean, tremendous bat control. He could hit just about any pitch you throw.
Weak ground ball, Chen over quickly. Fields it nicely, throws high, but Davis keeps the foot on the bag and 1 away.
Yeah, had a little more time than he took, and he did gather his foot, but probably could have taken one more step. You do these drills so often, and the key to me is footwork, obviously, but keeping your hands together. Because if you separate your hands early and then you're a little bit off balance, it's very easy to lose your arm slot, and kind of dropped his arm a little bit, and it's nice to have a big target over there with Chris Davis. Otherwise, Perez, a routine out would have been a base hit or an error.
Yeah, Chris really does a good job with his footwork around the bag. Here's Alex Gordon, the left fielder. One of 3 left-handers in the lineup tonight against Chen. And it's a strike at the knees, 0-1. Gordon at 255, and he is tied for 5th in the league with 13 doubles. The Royals have 4 hitters in their lineup with 10 or more doubles.
Well, it's the ballpark. I mean, they don't play all their games, but it's always been the mantra of, whether you're the manager, Ned Yost, any hitting instructor here, is you have to be a gap hitter. And it plays on the road because you end up hitting home runs, Camden Yards if you're a gap hitter because of smaller dimensions. But if you hit a lot of fly balls here, they're pretty much going to be outs.
Oh, good looking curveball. 2-2.
I think he thought it might be a little bit high, but it's usually like Yogi Berra would say, this is the one that got me to Cooperstown. Hanging curveball.
Up in the zone, give it a ride.
Yep.
And a bouncer to second. Flaherty charges to play the hop. And 2 quick outs. Well, Wei-Yin Chen, Jim, he's 4-2 in 7 starts, and this is a big reason why. Something all pitchers look to. How do my batters support me?
Well, it's nice, and we saw this with Chris Tillman. He went 5-0 last June, and he got almost 6 runs a game. But if you get a lot of runs and then you start pitching well, and that's what Wei-Yin Chen has been doing, it's a great combination. The guy that you feel a little bit sorry for, obviously, is Jimenez. Did not pitch well in his first, 4? The last 3 have been outstanding. Right. And then there's Bud Norris, who has probably pitched a lot better than his record indicates, and not a lot of run support for him either. You want to pitch on the road if you're pitching for the Orioles, but I'm not sure you want to do it against Ventura. You get my drift.
Chris Tillman will pitch tomorrow, sitting with Ubaldo, who's all wrapped up on this cool night. Chris made it through his bullpen session. He has a little bit of a tight groin, and it's his push-off leg, so there's something they're concerned about. There's Miguel back on the bench now. There's a line drive to right center field, chasing Adam Jones, and he reaches up, and it's off his glove. Markakis will back it up as Valencia heads to second with a double. So just as he did as an Oriole, a big hit off a lefty.
Yeah, ball slices a little way. We talked about the wind. It is blowing left to right. It looks like Adam has this track pretty well. I mean, it's So he gets a good jump and just can't quite get it off the end of his glove, and just not long enough.
And you know, if you talk to Adam after the game, he'll tell you he probably should have had that, because if he gets to it, he thinks he should catch it, and he got to it.
Well,
but I think you're right. I think the wind affected that.
Yeah, that's not a ball that was really catchable. The great thing about sitting up here in the booth or sitting behind home plate is you get to really see the jump. And he did get a good jump, but I think the ball just kind of sliced away from him, and it was hit hard.
Here's Giavatello, who's playing at second base. And fastball's high. Since we last saw the Royals, Omar Infante to the DL.
Yeah, well, that's actually not good for him because he has a bad back. But there are the wind we're talking about. But he drove in seven RBIs in that 3-game series and 11 at bats. 5 in 1 game.
There's a strike at the knees.
There's a good pitch. Young hitter. He's always hit well at AAA. Only thing that they want Giavatello to do a little bit better, maybe defensively.
Well, he's their what-if guy. He's down there in the minors, and what if something happens? Let's bring him up. And then as soon as the other guy's back, see you later.
Well, that's why right there. I mean, he's going to take a little stroll, which kind of irritated me. When the guy airs it out on your fastball belt high, and he's frustrated. If you're pitching, you don't need to know that. It'd be like you throw a ball at a guy and you kind of point at him. Threw it right by you. No reason to do that.
Valencia's at second with 2 down. Chen trying to get out of this inning. Breaking ball is low. Well, Giavatello, Jim, 658 minor league games over 7 seasons. Very little playing time here with the Royals, but he's there just in case.
Yeah, and he's probably one of those guys they call a 4A player, somewhere between AAA and the major leagues. But out over the plate, boy, he can hit some line drives back up the middle.
Bounce to third. Machado plays it foul. And then he threw across anyway, just in case, but the third base umpire, Corey Blazer, said foul ball.
Well, the good news is after that slide back in the first inning, after he singled and tried to break up a double play, maybe a little bit of a limp, but not certainly as pronounced as it was.
That was interesting that Doug Eddings at first called him out, even though he had to have seen his colleague on the other side call that foul.
Cal Ripken Sr. talking. Perfect practice.
Perfect practice.
He's practicing.
Chen looking for his 5th win on the year. He already leads the club with his 4. Britton has 3 out of the bullpen, and Tillman has 3 in the rotation. A win behind Wei-Yin Chen. 2-2 on Giavatello. Right back to Chen, who fields his position so well. That ball was smoked, and he grabbed it for the out. So the 2-out double, a man left. Pitcher's duel in the making in Kansas City. O's and Royals, no score. Brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Find Southwest Airlines fares online only at southwest.com. And by Luna. For beautiful new carpet, hardwood, and laminate, call 877-241-LUNA. Kauffman Stadium at the Truman Sports Complex, and moments ago as Chen left the field, Dave Wallace with the interpreter talking things over. So maybe Dave saw something he didn't like or was wondering about something, and then he went over and asked Clevenger about it.
Well, it worked out after the double by Valencia, so maybe pretty much the only thing that you could look back at that inning and say, well, maybe we want to pitch him a little bit differently. But he does get out of the inning unscathed.
David Lowe bounces it to first. Hosmer gloves. The race is on. And Ventura gets there a step ahead of David Lowe for the out.
Now, really rangy guy, and he came up, a high draft choice. They figure he's going to be one of their better hitters, and he has turned out. But he did win this first Gold Glove, and it's a matter if you're pitching, everybody's yelling, get over there, and he does.
So first time through the lineup, Ventura allows 3 hits but no runs. 43 pitches already. And here is Nick Markakis, who singled his first at bat. Nick snapped his 0 for 14 with that base hit. There's a bouncer towards the middle, and Escobar can't get it. He's 2 for 2. So Markakis with his 15 multi-hit game. And Jim, here's a look at our Jeep inside the numbers.
Well, there you go. I mean, Garrett Richard, I was reading an article about he's made some adjustments. Scherzer, the reigning Cy Young Award winner, 21-3 last year, 5-1 this season, and then Ventura, Chavez, who's really pitched well. Kind of seemed like he came out, and then Tanaka. He's now gone 24, 20, 32 straight wins or something in his first major league complete game last night. Did not lose last year in Japan. And I believe he's now 6-0 for the Yankees. He's the real deal. I suppose you should be for $175 million, but I mean, no, that's not the first guy that's come over and maybe overrated, but he's not by any means.
2-0 on Manny, who singled his first at bat.
Yeah, such a big ballpark. You just hope that you can slice them into the gaps. They play, because there's such a mobile outfield. Gordon plays shallow and left. Kane, we see, can really run them down.
Good eye, ball 3.
Do you let him hit here?
Yes.
Or showed you the graphic in our opening how hot Adam Jones is. Even though he did hit in a double play, you hope that he walks him.
Looked like he was taken all the way. Markakis on with a 1-out single, no score. Fastball for a strike. See if Markakis runs here on 3-2. There has not yet been a steal against Ventura. He is running, and it's grounded towards the middle. Giavotella flips it, safe at second, back to first, and out at first. Good hustle there by Markakis. I'm surprised Giavotella tried, but after seeing Escobar, now I know why. Wow.
Well, he's a very rangy shortstop, and the whole intention here, obviously, is to try to get the lead runner, and if you don't, get it to him quickly enough. But this is a very low percentage toss. And then he gets bailed out by Alcides Escobar, really catching it in a very unorthodox throw, but right on the money.
2 down with Markakis at second. Here's Adam Jones. Adam bounced into a double play in the first inning.
Not too many curveballs so far. Well, there was one, and it hung.
Foul back this way. 1-1 on Jones. But Ventura has allowed only 4 home runs on the year, all 4 by left-handed batters. Jones has been on a bit of a home run tear with 4 home runs during his 9-game hitting streak.
Well, he would take a broken bat single to the outfield. The runs have been, I mean, other than what they scored in 3 innings in the Tiger series, 5-run inning yesterday.
Jones to center field. Lorenzo Cain is there, and he reaches up and makes the catch. Looked like it might sail over his head. Hard hit ball, but Cain hauls it in for the out.
First complete game, 34-0 last 42 regular season games. Ortiz, 8-game hitting streak and 5 home runs, over 500. Well, there you go. And then Cabrera, we saw these guys. We're finished with them for the year. 37 for 102, 9 home runs, 30 RBIs. And they were wondering who was going to protect Cabrera.
They found him.
Yes, they did. Well, he was there, and last year he was coming off that knee injury. So Wei and Chen thought he might have a run. Adam Jones hitting it very hard, but Cain running it down.
Yeah, and David Ortiz is so hot, he got another base hit when he wasn't even on the field.
Oh, yeah. That's, you can appeal, I guess, scoring calls.
Right, the team on behalf of the player.
Right. And they said he wouldn't have done it. I guess there was a pop try in the 7th inning of the Darvish one-hitter. With 2 outs, he got the base hit, and he went back and said he would not have done it if Darvish had pitched a no-hitter. Well, that was very gallant of him.
But the MLB ruling goes against what the official scorers are taught to do in that instant, and yet it was MLB that overturned it as Chen gets ahead of Cain 0-1.
Well, why let logic and rules get in the way?
Changeup is low. 1-1 on Cain. Escobar on deck, and then Aoki. Moyen has allowed 1 hit, the double by Valencia in the 2nd. Bouncer and a base hit to left field. And past Machado for a leadoff single for Lorenzo Cain. Now, fans, you can celebrate summer at Oriole Park by picking up the new Birdland Summer 6-pack. You'll get a ticket to 6 games of your choice throughout the season, with savings of up to 20% off the cost of the single game ticket. You can lock in your seats now for the best games and the promotions of the summer and save as well. For all the details, get online, Orioles.com/6pack, or just call 888-848-BIRD. Those fans here in Kansas City, good seats right behind the Oriole dugout.
Hoping for a double play ball. Cain with good speed, 14 steals out of 20 attempts. Kansas City did lead the American League in stolen bases last year. This was one of the ringleaders. Escobar now 11 out of 12 already. And at one of those home runs, he hit a grand slam down the left field line the other evening in Seattle.
Well, Chen holds runners well. There's only been one steal against Wei-Yin on the season. And a bunt that it's a good one, and it's going to roll foul.
Yeah, they're going to pounce on it as quickly as you can. They always come out early, roll balls down the baselines to see exactly what the field does as far as drainage. Great attempt right here. They're struggling for runs. The Royals 12th in runs, the Orioles 14th in runs. So pitcher's ballpark, maybe manufacture a run or two, get back to the top of the lineup. But that was not a sacrifice. That was trying to bunt his way on. If he was able to get it on the grass, he probably would have. So now with 2 strikes, Manny Machado down at third can go back to his normal position, play a little bit deeper.
Popped up down the first base line, and that's going to be back in the crowd. Davis, Flaherty, and Markakis all charging. Escobar's got a 3-game hitting streak going, and he has hit .364 against left-handed pitching on the year. As we look around Kauffman Stadium, small crowd here tonight. It's a bit cool. Spring has not officially arrived yet in the Midwest, I guess.
Well, let's see, the frost line in Maryland is today, May 15th. So, not that you can't plant things, you just got to cover them, I suppose.
Grounded to third, Machado to Flaherty, back to first, and a double play, nicely turned.
Yeah, there's not a lot of hesitation for Mr. Platinum down at third. He gets it, I mean, right on the money. I mean, right here, not in the glove very long, gets his feet underneath him, and then Ryan Flaherty, nice job of avoiding the sliding Lorenzo Cain.
So the Orioles turn the double play. That eliminates the leadoff base runner. Here's Nori Aoki, and he'll take outside.
I asked him today, I asked his interpreter, I said, did you ever meet anybody that actually threw a home run to Sadahara? Oh. And his eyes lit up. And I go, yep, me. And then I pointed to the Dr. Pepper diet sign over the waterfalls here. I said, he would have gone over that. That's how I met Mr. Aoki, who comes over from the National League. 140 singles last year. So you're right, slap hitter, bunt hitter.
Well, he's got 8 infield hits, and 3 of those are bunt singles.
Yeah, but he's no Adam Jones.
No. Who is?
Adams has 11.
That's right. Aoki loves hitting here. He's had only 2 hitless games at home. This is their 18th game at home, the Royals. And one of those was yesterday when he took it 0 for 3 against Colorado. Aoki 32. It's his 3rd season in the big leagues. He spent 8 seasons in the Japanese major leagues and had a couple of 200-hit seasons there. And he just got a piece.
So let's see, both Wei and Chen and Aoki played in Japan, so they must have faced each other. And those are the numbers you were talking about right there. Doesn't like to go on the road.
Well, he doesn't like room service.
You do room service? Are you a room service type of guy?
More than I would like, because I'm getting.
It's either.
Well, I'm getting
yes.
Yes.
Don't waffle on me. Just yes or no.
Well, I was giving you some plot exposition. Yes.
Okay.
In fact, I had it today. I had a nice turkey sandwich. Getting my work done. 3-2 is lifted towards left. Over towards the line comes David Lowe. He knows the stadium very well, and he grabs it in foul ground for the out, and the inning ends. We'll head to the 4th. No score in Kansas City. 3 is brought to you by Volkswagen. Let's go back October 6th, 1991. 50,700 Orioles fans bid farewell to Memorial Stadium. After 37 seasons, Mike Flanagan on a relief struck out both Tigers he faced. He became the last Oriole to pitch at the stadium. And the ceremony that followed the game offered an emotional display of former Orioles trotting out to their old positions one last time wearing an Oriole uniform.
Quite a moment. Johnny Unitas threw out the first pitch to Brooks Robinson. Of course, if you go back to Memorial Stadium, contrary to a lot of parks here, even here in Kansas City, you had the Colts and the Orioles playing at the same stadium, and the Colts weren't too bad back then. Perennial championship type teams, always playing the Packers, it seems, or the Bears.
1-1 on Chris Davis, leading off in the Oriole fourth. Cruz on deck, then Clevenger against the 22-year-old Yordano Ventura.
Yeah, he's really only been in trouble back in inning 1, a couple of singles and then the double play ball. Did a couple balls hard, but right at people. But you would think with the normal, and he's not normal at 22, that you see 86% fastballs, maybe get a little bit wild. And we haven't really seen that, even though he's now gone 3-1. Most 22-year-old kids, they might have great arms, they just don't have a lot of command, but he seems to be the contrary of that.
Fouls off the 3-1 pitch.
Well, Ray Miller, a longtime Oriole pitching coach, said you can always tell the guys with the great fastballs because they can get into fastball counts, the good fastball hitters, and be able to not get in trouble. And there's a perfect example.
And it's high ball 4, and there's a leadoff walk. Orioles get the leadoff man on here in the fourth. Here's our PNC minor league report brought to you by PNC Bank for the Achiever in You. Jimmy Yacobonis, who is the closer at Delmarva, another Dean Albany find out of St. Joseph's University in Philadelphia. How about those numbers?
Well, yeah, Buck Showalter was talking on the plane. First of all, I mean, big fan of Dean Albany because he really knows his stuff. I know that as well as anybody because he's one of my neighbors down in Little Italy. But again, that's
Cruz to deep right center field. Kane back on it, still back on it, and that ball is gone. It carries out of here into the jet stream, and the Orioles get a 2-0 lead.
We were talking yesterday about big time power. That's home run number 12. RBIs 34 and 35, but he can get them out anywhere. And, one of the storylines of tonight is that if you're going to sky one or hit one well, you might want to do it to right center field because that's the way the wind's blowing.
Yep. So Nelly continues the RBIs off home run surge as he hits number 12. Here's Clevenger. And he fouls it back. And boy, Jim, this one got out of here quick.
Well, you get a young pitcher, and this is a fastball. You can see a four-seamer, and, well, he's big and strong. I mean, it doesn't really matter. I mean, almost hit one out of the stadium in Minnesota. So big-time power. And there's an example of it. 12th home run of the season. Jose Abreu leading the American League. And, I just think that's actually a pretty smart veteran hitter saying, okay, he just walked Davis. Maybe he's going to come back. His best pitch is a fastball. And a lot of times, good fastball hitters can get on some fastballs. And that's exactly what happened. Well, there it is. We told you, out of Cuba, $68 million deal. We'll see him later on in the summer. Abreu leading the league, and he stopped Oakland's winning streak at 7 with a 3-run home run yesterday. And then Ortiz trying to catch up. 4 home runs in the last 2 days, 5 over the last couple of days.
Already doubled his first at bat through the legs of the pitcher Ventura, but Giavotella at second base has it, and 2 men down. Fans, the Orioles are back in town starting Thursday, May 22nd. It is a 4-game weekend homestand. That's it. The Indians in town, and on Friday, May 23rd. Don't miss the season's next fireworks night. All fans will enjoy a beautiful fireworks display that lights up the birdland skies following that 7:05 game. For your tickets, Orioles.com or 888-848-BIRD.
Nelson Cruz is batting.
First base, glove there by Eric Hosmer. He'll go to the bag to retire Flaherty, and the inning ends. But the Orioles get a 2-run lead on the 12th home run from Nelson Cruz. He hit it out deep for an early lead. Today, as Matt Wieters, who was on the DL but traveling with the team, went to the bullpen and he caught Bud Norris's bullpen session, didn't throw. And he flipped the ball back to John Russell. John Russell talked about the importance and the benefits of having Matt with the team while on the DL.
He's the backbone of our catching core, and all the guys looked up to him in spring training, and Steve and Caleb both still look up to him here. He helps us out. He talks to those guys. He's in with us on the advance reports. And gives them a feel of what he sees of what they're doing, and then when they come back to the bench, he'll ask them questions, and he's a great outlet for those guys.
Yeah, that first question, Buck Showalter, because John Russell came in, he said Matt just caught Bud Norris in the bullpen. He said, "Who threw the ball back?" And John said, "Don't worry, Bud, it was me." Yeah, very, very important part of this, and obviously for the Orioles, we know about the offense. That's going to click at some point. It's about your pitching.
Line to left field. David Lowe will have to play it on a hop. Hosmer's on with a leadoff single.
Yeah, Eric Hosmer could flat out hit, and like we said, nobody's gotten more hits since last June 15th. And one of the reasons he's such a tough out is because of that. He's left-handed. He's learned to hit in this ballpark because he uses the whole field.
He had got hitless the last 2 games. First time this year he's done that, so he's got a base hit here tonight to break out of it.
And he's a 344 hitter at night. Good to think. It's when considering most of the games you play are at night.
Right.
Even though it seems like this year there's been a bevy of early day games for a lot of teams. Better be able to hit at night.
Ball 1 to Billy Butler.
He'll get traded to the Cubs.
The
Orioles will be there. Yeah, I wonder what I'm going to have to. That'll be one of my missions for tomorrow night. What the actual mix of the Cub games now at home. What the percentage is, day and night.
Can't reach the changeup. 1-1 the count.
Well, everybody's complaining. Billy Butler, he made a mistake 2 years ago because usually he hits 15 to 21 home runs. He hit 29, so they expect him to be a home run guy. Well, he hits too many ground balls. He's, this and that. Of course, the Orioles are hoping he does that right now and hits it right at one of the infielders.
Well, I bet a lot of teams would take him if he was made available.
Well, he's got, I think, isn't he? He was talking last year about being, I think it might be his last year. Signed through 2014.
It's another one, misses.
Yeah, I think a big curveball that he thought was going to break a little bit more. He comes in as a 298 lifetime hitter. And then 2 years ago did hit 29 home runs, 313 on the year.
And he got him.
And then a changeup. Nice pitching. They want to try to get back into this game. They get the leadoff batter on. Hosmer with the single, and then you got a tough right-hander, and Wayne pitches him like a finesse pitcher. Throws him enough fastballs, gets him with curveballs, and then the changeup to strike him out.
So one away, and here is Salvador Perez with a comebacker, his first at bat. Ground ball through the middle. We got the ground ball, but it found the hole. So we have 2 on and 1 out, and Chen will have to go to work on Alex Gordon. Fans, you can win a meet and greet with Buck Showalter from Masson. Just text Masson's word of the day, balk, to 29292 for your chance to win. That's balk, B-A-L-K, to 29292. Chen has 7 ground ball outs in this game. And 2 of the 4 base hits against him have been ground balls that found the hole. Here's Alex Gordon.
Now, so Gordon, Chen came in at what, 429 against lefties, which is really high, and Gordon's hitting 200 against lefties. Let's see who wins this battle.
Alex Gordon, one of the first-round picks that's in the everyday lineup for Kansas City. He was the number 2 overall pick back in 2005. Justin Upton went to Arizona, number 1 overall. And the 0-1 is hit into right field. That's a base hit. Markakis charging. Hosmer will be held by Dale Swain. And the throw comes all the way to the plate, knocked down by Clevenger, and no further advancement. So 3 hits in the inning, and the Royals with 1 down of the bases loaded.
Well, this is the way you do it. I mean, we've seen all 3 hits. Gordon pulls it. Hosmer went the other way, and Perez went up the middle. And that's pretty good at bat right here, because this is not a bad curveball. But you can see him go out there, and because he's strong enough, infield's fast enough, he is able to get it by Flaherty, and then Markakis charges it well. Doesn't make a very good throw, but it didn't matter because they'd already stopped Hosmer at third.
And Clevenger out for a chat with Chen. Hosmer at third, Perez at second, Gordon at first, and former Oriole Danny Valencia to face Chen.
Well, 321 hitter coming in, so that number went up, and that's why the Orioles signed him last year, because he wore left-handers out.
Big early moment for Chen. Ripped down the line, and that is hooking foul.
Well, he can hit the fastball. You know, better fastball hitter than breaking ball hitter, unless you hang it. Well, you'd love to come up with some kind of pitch, change up, try to get him to roll over, bounce one at somebody, because, as I said, not great speed.
The Royals as a club have hit .245 against lefties, .262 against righties.
Yeah, the one number that jumps out, the Orioles at .278 coming in with runners in scoring position, and the Royals at .235. Now, Danny a little bit different. He's at .250. 12 opportunities, 3 base hits.
0-1 the count, bases loaded, 1 down. High fly ball left field. He got a lot of it. David Lowe is back, and in front of the wall, he will make the catch. And Lowe will fire into third. Perez trying to advance, and he does. So the ballpark held it. It's a sac fly and an RBI, and now 2 down in the inning, and Perez is hurt at third base.
It looks like he might have gotten tagged in the right side of the head. So the play in front of him. Take a look right here. We're going to try to snap the tag, and no, I guess he just hit his knee with the right side of his head.
Right into Manny's knee. So the trainers are out.
Yeah, anytime you see that collision, you think about concussion type symptoms. So I'm sure they'll check for that. Yeah, there's the back end of that throw, and it's not the tag or anything. It's just the fact that he slid head first and then goes right into the right knee of Manny Machado. I think that ball probably would have gotten out of here without the wind. It was a breaking ball that Valencia hit really well.
Trainer asking him to squeeze his fingers to look for the strength.
I think that's probably the cervical check.
Easy. Obvious discomfort. He's had some concussion issues in the past, Jim, so they're really checking. It's Perez the catcher, so how many times you get foul balls off the mask over the course of a season?
Well, you could see when he slid in, I mean, the impact actually took his helmet right off.
And Yost is now talking to him. See if he comes out as a precaution or if he talks his way in to staying in the game. Well, he's going to stay in. Looks like he has a little swelling there on his face too, Jim, doesn't it? Right next to his mouth.
That's probably the chewing tobacco, bubble gum, whatever, mixture of both.
See, Manny went over and said, "Hey, sorry," and he said, "No, that's okay. He was trying to make a play." Nice sportsmanship there by Machado. So Chen is an out away from getting out of it inexpensively. Here's Giavatello. And it's low, 1-0. Orioles got two in the top half of this inning on the home run by Cruz, and the Royals come back with one here in the bottom of the fourth. And Perez is at third, Gordon is at first with 2 outs. Off-speed pitch on the corner. Three hits in the inning off Chen. 5 in the game for each team now as we play in the fourth. Strike 2. Clevenger really does a nice job giving a nice target. And well, that was a call, Jim. It looked like he hit the glove right where he was set up.
Well, one of the things you want to do, you want to move as late as you can. Caleb very good right with him as far as being able to get to that spot, and then you want to present the glove. Rick Dempsey, you actually used to have that day glow orange, so you did miss the target as you get the glove up.
In the dirt and knocked down by Clevenger.
And there's a tendency sometimes, and I'm not sure if he does it every time, we can kind of see. A lot of times you get the glove up for a fastball and you don't get the glove up for a breaking ball, which he didn't do there. That was an off-speed pitch. But if you do it often enough, then they pretty kind of know whether it's hard or soft.
And you see he looks to the bench to John Russell before every pitch, just in case. He wants to make sure, and there's Caleb Joseph, he does the same. If they want anything on from the bench. That's foul. Well, this is a big learning process for Clevenger. I mean, he made the team as the backup, and with Wieters, that means you might get a game a week. And now all of a sudden he's in there pretty much every day.
Yeah, but just think, I mean, that's, a guy you can emulate. You can, as John Russell said in your interview with him today, it started in spring training. Spring training is pretty idyllic for pitchers, not for catchers. And if you don't come to spring training ready to work, probably not going to be on the club.
2-2 on Giavatello. First and third and 2 down. In the dirt, doesn't chase the changeup, all 3.
Well, that's a nice block, yeah, and that's where you want to throw your changeup. You got Kane, who already singled up the middle. He's waiting on deck. See, now you can see way in the first time around, a lot of fastballs. Now kind of using the curveball and the changeup. So 50% fastballs and the rest curves and change.
Gordon runs. The 3-2 is swung on and popped up wide of third. Machado is over and runs out of room.
And certainly more foul territory here than Camden Yards, Fenway, Yankee Stadium, but nothing's like Oakland.
The Red Sox have lost today. The Yankees have a 1-0 lead against the Mets in the 8th. That game is in Flushing. Another 3-2 is swung on and lifted to shallow right. Markakis charging in. He'll get there and he makes the catch. So Chen, a real nice job. Bases loaded, one down, and he holds the Royals to a run. Is brought to you by PNC Bank for the Achiever in you, and by AT&T, mobilizing your world. Kauffman Stadium in Kansas City, beautiful ballpark. They've done a great job renovating, adding features. They have their Royals Hall of Fame now out there in left field. And a nice restaurant there as well. They have an outfield seating in left center field. They have a porch in right field, and of course the dancing fountains. And Perez stays in the game after the collision with Manny Machado's knee. There's David Lowe. Markakis and Machado will follow. David back in Kansas City, and he'll take Lowe 1-0. He was traded for Danny Valencia, and they're both in the game tonight.
Well, with Nate McLouth going to the Nationals, it was a pretty good fit for the Orioles.
Yeah.
And Danny Valencia actually did help the Orioles, especially against left-handed starters, and then had a chance to play, even put up good numbers against righties.
David was out for some early BP today, as were several Orioles.
Well, just trying to flat. I was talking to Vice President of Baseball Operations, Dan Duquette, down on the field, and he was just saying they've been looking at some of the swings, because he hit 286 for, there's a curveball for the Royals last year, and he is a plus defender, so he can really help you against right-handed pitching and steal some bases. 4 for 4.
And he's down on strikes, leading off in the Oriole fifth.
Well, that's it. You slow the bat down with the curveball, and then you throw the perfect pitch right underneath his hands at 95. Doesn't get a whole lot better than this. So if he keeps pitching, talking about Giordano Ventura, will he change his name to Ace? Ace Ventura. That's really what it comes down to.
Isn't that copyrighted?
Well, I guess.
Yeah, I'm not sure legally he could do that, but I understand your thought.
My name is Giordano. Just call me Ace.
that he could probably do. He could put the ace in the middle with quotes. Ball and a strike on Nick, who's 2 for 2. So Nick had enough of the 3 consecutive hitless games, so he just comes out tonight and gets a multi-hit effort.
I know he was blaming me because I got there. I ended the 18-game hitting streak for him.
Way to go, Jim.
I would think it had something more to do with the Tigers pitching staff, but all of a sudden, and he really made a nice adjustment the first time to get off the snide, fought off a 97-mile-per-hour fastball into left field, and then Chris Fingal up the middle.
And that is a foul ball. By the way, Buck Showalter told the media before the day that the Orioles have heard from the Major League office and Bud Norris will not be suspended.
No, he was actually, I think, fined.
Right.
And of course, Buck Showalter said, so what's going to happen to Justin Verlander for throwing behind Cruz, who wasn't ejected and got a win?
Strike 3 called at the knees.
Well, just enough balls away, so the last 2 strikeouts, both 95 and both inside corner.
Nice frame by Perez.
Well, that's about the movement, Jim. I mean, you give up on this ball because you just think it's inside and it runs back just enough to seem fastball.
Boy, Brian O'Nora just had a long chat with Perez after that strikeout call. Not sure what Perez might have been saying there, but he got the call. Manny takes inside. Of course, on the last road trip, the Orioles were in Tampa, and Jose Molina, the backup catcher, caught the last game. He is regarded as one of the best at framing pitches in baseball. He's from the Catching Molina brothers. Perez is pretty good at it, too.
Well, they had a guy here for a while, Bob Boone.
Mm-hmm.
He was the first guy, I think, that, I mean, all the good catchers, Rick Dempsey used to do it. I mean, all the guys used to do it, but get into the postseason when he was with the Angels, I feel like he just got framed off to the penitentiary for 3 years because of the way they could move the glove back into the strike zone. Well, I thought John Russell said it best. He said you're supposed to catch the strikes that are strikes and make the pitches that are balls appear to be strikes.
Yeah. 1-2 on Machado, and he got him. So Giordano Ventura, after his team gets him a run, strikes out the side. O's go 3 up, 3 down in the 5th.
much better against the East. The record 3-9, batting average down, home runs down, run differential. That's usually what wins and lose games, and then the ERA higher than the team. So 4 series, and I'm going to try to change that here in Kansas City as they get to play game number 1. It's not always easy 4-game series against a team that's won 6 out of the last 8, and is third in the pitching, but got to start somewhere, and Wei Chen's done a nice job. He did a nice job pitching out of a possible big inning, even though the wind seemed to help on the sacrifice fly. So anybody's game, though, when you get into the middle innings.
Yeah, the Royals in their last 6 series, they've won 4, they've lost 1 when they were swept by the Tigers, and they've split 1. So here is Kane. Fastball's high, 1-0. Escobar on deck, and then Aoki.
Well, the Royals last year went, 43-27 after the All-Star break. And the Orioles had come in then. They won the first game. Scott Feldman won, and then did not win any of the others. And the mantra for the Royals, as it is for all teams, Ned Yost saying, hey, let's just try to win series. And they did. That's what the Orioles would like to get back to doing.
Bounce past the mound. There's Hardy. Waits on the hop and gets it to first. And 1 away. Well, the Orioles did make a roster move before the game today, as Kevin Gausman was sent back to AAA and Evan Meek in the bullpen. Evan Meek is out there with his bullpen mates. Buck Showalter had Gausman come with the team, Jim, to Kansas City. He wanted to sit down and talk to him. He and Dave Wallace did that in Buck's office today, and he said really he just let Gausman do most of the talking. He said, what did you take out of your outing yesterday? What did you see? And one of the things that Kevin told him was, boy, they have the ability to foul off pitches up here, don't they?
Yeah, and I don't think we got a true test. Pitching, it's not only was he a day short, he had pitched in a night game and then came back in a day game. So it's almost a day and a half short. Pitched well early against a team that is playing very well. Happened to load the bases up to get the best hitter in baseball, and he hit a 2-run single, and then they manufactured some runs for another 3-run inning. It's still the one thing I see, and it's hard to judge when maybe you don't have the normal arm speed because and it's not that he couldn't pitch every 4th day, but he's not doing that, is the slider. Still needs work with that pitch. And for the first time that I've ever seen, I saw maybe slowing the arm a little bit down on his changeup, and he's got a terrific changeup. So he'll go back, he'll get his innings in, and we'll most likely see him in somewhat of a hurry.
Well, the one thing that he showed yesterday, and this is true of quite a bit of pitchers that come up for AAA, the ability to get ahead, but then inability to put hitters away. Past the mound, that's up the middle for a base hit for Alcides Escobar. There were several at-bats yesterday where Gausman got ahead 0-2, and before you knew it, it was 3-2.
Well, that's because of his secondary pitches. Didn't have a real good change yesterday, and he didn't have a good slider. A very inconsistent break. When he is able to just tighten it up, which is what he did when he pitched so well out of the bullpen, I think it'll be a totally different story.
Well, the tying run is on. Here's Aoki, who's 0 for 2.
And you also get a base stealer.
Yep.
11 out of 12.
And throw to first.
Yeah, he's pretty adept at stealing bases, so maybe one of those guys where he'll just go on Wei Chen's first move. And Joseph throws better than Clevenger. Steve did throw out a base runner the other night. Caleb Joseph made it look like a clinic against the Tigers.
Calling card throw.
I don't even know if it was that. Wei Chen, what he has to do is just make him stop. Don't let him get a bouncing running lead.
Upstairs 1-0.
See, this is what speed does. You try to quicken your windup up, and he almost ends up hitting Aoki in the head.
Clevenger has caught 3 potential base stealers. 15, however, have stolen. That ball's foul down the line. Hit hard but foul. Caleb Joseph in his 3 starts has caught 2 out of 5. Here's Caleb. He'll get 1 game in the series when Danny Duffy starts. Lifted to left field. Back on it is David Lowe. He's got to play. And has it for the out, and that's a favor when Aoki, the leadoff man, hits the ball up in the air, 1 away. Time now for all fans to tweet their photos using the hashtag MASSonFanPhotos for a chance to have it shown in a future broadcast, all brought to you by AT&T. And 2 men down. Kane led off the inning with a ground out. And here is Eric Hosmer, who is 1 out of 2 with a single and the run scored. Now even more likely that Escobar will try to get in the scoring position with 2 down in the inning.
Yeah, the other thing for Wei Chen, he's very quick to the plate. You know, he cuts the leg. You know, I don't know if it's a slide step is where, if you look at it, his left leg is and foot is on the pitching rubber, and you just slide that front, which would be your right leg, slide it, you know, quicken up your hands and make sure your hand and you can get on top of your pitch. I think you got to be careful here. It's just you go back. I mean, pitchers have good memories, and don't think Wei Chen doesn't remember the home run he hit with the 3-1 lead last year into the 8th inning here in Kansas City. So you kind of remember the pitch, which is a fastball. You remember the area, which was kind of inside middle, kind of right where they're going now.
Bounce to second. Flaherty's there. He'll get Hosmer, and Chen gets out of the inning. A 1-out single and a man left through 5. Pitchers duel in Kansas City. Chen and the Birds have the lead. Tomorrow, more O's action. It's game 2 of the series with Chris Tillman on the mound against former Oriole Jeremy Guthrie. Our coverage on MASN 2 begins at 7:30 with O's Extra presented by Dodge, followed by game coverage at 8 o'clock. We've got all the access you need right here on MASN.
So, Chris Tillman, he will try to get back on track. Really, the problem for him is a couple of home runs in the first inning, one down in Toronto, in Tampa Bay, where he gave up 2-run home run to Longoria and then 3-run home run to Castro. Jeremy Guthrie has pitched 4 times against the Orioles, 4 excellent games. So the Orioles certainly want to change that. Guthrie coming off a game where he threw 3 home runs. So a couple of guys, right-handers. Tillman at 6'5", Guthrie at about, what do you think, 6'1.5" out of Stanford.
Here's Adam Jones leading off. Where'd you get that ½ inch?
Well, I'm trying to give him the benefit of the doubt. It was spikes. Don't you think that baseball players always look taller because they usually have?
They're all taller than me.
Well, okay.
I got to 5'8" and stopped. I was all excited senior year of high school. You know, you get measured and weighed for football. Wow, I'm 5'8" now.
Well, if you were 5'8", if you were 5'8" in high school, you're not 5'8" now. Nobody. I mean, as we get older.
Adam Jones goes down on strikes.
Well, that's 4 in a row. I mean, so Giordano is becoming Ace Ventura right here. I mean, look at the quality of these pitches. 87 changeup, down and away, great extension, and then the front arm really causes deception. It throws right over that front shoulder. It seems like he's very intent on not giving up any more runs.
Here's Chris Davis, who got the Orioles rally started with a walk, and he'll take a strike. The only walk of the game, it led off the 4th, and came one batter ahead of the Cruz 2-run homer. See the shift on.
Yeah, certainly not losing any stuff here in the 6th. If anything, actually being able to get the ball lower in the zone and then ride it when he gets ahead.
Overthrows that fastball.
Did he ever? Almost ended up in their dugout.
5 of the last 7 batters have struck out. Well, he's got 7. He's averaging 9.5. He now has 51 strikeouts, and he has given up 37 base hits. And he gets Davis.
99. Wow.
It's 5 strikeouts in a row now.
I mean, it looks like it's a very unorthodox, but see, he keeps the left shoulder closed enough to be able to stay and keep his lines somewhere where he can get the ball to Perez.
Now here's Cruz. His 2-run home run gave the Orioles the lead. And he looks at a breaking ball for a strike. Strike 2.
Wow.
He's pitching now like he's double parked. He's got to get out there before he gets a ticket. Check swinging a breaking ball. The appeal, he checked in time. Well, this home run, Jim, he got it up at the jet stream and hit it well, and it went out.
Yeah, pretty much the middle of the plate. Only about 2 or 3 balls really hit hard tonight. Didn't seem to be too phased by it.
Strike 3 called. He has struck out the side the last 2 innings. 6 in a row, 9 in the game. Mid-6th, 2-1 O's. Host the Indians at 1:35. The first 20,000 fans 15 and over will receive an Orioles ripcord bracelet. You can celebrate Memorial Day weekend with this new fun promotional item proudly made in the USA. So Come on out and create some new Birdland memories during this, the 60th anniversary season of your Orioles. For your tickets, just get online at Orioles.com or call 888-848-BIRD.
Yeah, you need that when you go skydiving in the offseason.
Or bungee jumping.
That's right. Brian Cashman. Well, he didn't go bungee jumping. He actually did rappel down some building as a bet for charity.
Things you will never see me do, and that's among them.
I'm not sure about skydiving or bungee cord jumping. There it is. A nice mixture of pitches, but only a 1-run lead.
Butler, Perez, and Gordon this inning. Chen has had just one 3-up, 3-down inning, and that was in the first.
Oh, there was a non-ground ball swing. As he tried to tie it up and fouled it off.
Showalter, the jacket on this cool night.
Yeah, the year he had 29 home runs, Kevin Seitzer down with Toronto was a hitting instructor, and it was pretty much just try to really drive the ball back up the middle. And by doing that,
check swing and a bloop. Davis back on it and makes a lugging grab.
Yeah, nice little play there. Could have been a double. Well, maybe a single with Butler.
So, one away, and as promised earlier in the game, here is our AT&T's fan photo. And a little cutie. She's got the Oriole bird eye black, and the Oriole jersey, and the Orioles headband, and nice red hair.
All she needs is the ripcord bracelet.
Right. So see if she gets the tickets for the game next Sunday, she can add that.
How about the Indians? They'll be coming in for 4 games. What a nice little 15-run game yesterday.
They're kind of a Jekyll and Hyde team. You just don't know. They get on these rolls, and then all of a sudden you look up and they've lost 6 in a row.
Well, they had 2 players, Chisenhall and Murphy, with 5 hits apiece.
David Murphy's signing was a good signing for them. The Rangers let him go, and he found a team that could use his skills, left-handed bat. One and one on Perez, 1 out, nobody on. Chen has never beaten the Royals. This is his 6th career start. He is 0-1.
But with good numbers.
Yes. Four of his 23 career wins against Central Division teams. Doesn't chase the high fastball, 2-2.
Well, you can see Steve Clevenger put the glove up. Maybe not quite as high as Perez would chase.
Yeah, and the 2-2 is just missed. I thought O'Nora was going to bring up the thumb, and he didn't. 3-2.
It must have been just off the corner, certainly high enough. Yeah, you can see that was green ball number 3. Just off the corner.
Fouls off the changeup to stay alive. Perez, he swings so hard, he loses his balance in the batter's box, and he ends up on the other side of the plate.
Well, he took one off the knee with his head, but he doesn't strike out a whole lot. I mean, 500 times up last year, only 63 strikeouts. Now, doesn't walk a whole lot either. I mean, I think those are off balance, but authoritative swings.
Yeah, it's after the contact.
Yeah.
This will be the 8th pitch in this at bat coming up. Fouled off again. Chen and Tillman are the 2 Orioles starters that have this happen to the most often, where hitters are able to prolong at bats by fouling pitches off.
Well, see this count right here, 3-2. Makes it a little more difficult. Don't want to walk them, not with a 1-run lead. You want to make a perfect pitch, and also I think you have to give credit to some of the hitters. the Orioles will go to Pittsburgh. Off day on Monday, but Tuesday and Wednesday. That doubleheader was incredible. How many foul balls there were. And Bud Norris pitched that first game, and they just kept ticking him. And there he finally walked. So what is your approach? Are you trying to cut down your swing a little bit, trying to make contact, foul him off till you either get a better pitch? That's the way the old Kansas City teams used to do when Charlie Lau was the hitting instructor.
10 pitch at bat, and he draws the walk. First walk allowed by Chen. He also has 1 strikeout. One of the reasons that Chen has been able to win despite the healthy batting average against him is he does not walk batters to get in trouble usually. That's only his 10th walk on the year, and this is 8th start.
Well, Perez earned that one. He just kept throwing strike after strike till he finally missed.
Perez has 1 steal on the year, and will be very happy indeed that he just drew a throw. Gordon singled in the rally in the 4th when the Royals got their run. 3 singles and a sac fly got that run in.
Well, his best years have been double years. I mean, he has hit some home runs, 20 last year, 14 the year before. There's Darren O'Day working on 8 consecutive scoreless appearances. But he's had years of 47, 51 doubles. Now all of a sudden you have to throw a strike again, and he'll be looking fastball. And in this ballpark, you just try to slice it up the gap. I don't know if Perez can score, but if you hit it hard enough and deep enough, good chance to score from first here at Royal Stadium.
Ball strike in the outside corner, borderline pitch, and Chen got the call. 2-1 on Gordon.
Yeah, 5th in doubles in the American League with 13.
Line drive, and that's a base hit, right center field. Sounded like he broke his bat, and he just got it over the head of Flaherty.
But see, the count has so much to do with it, Jim. 2-1, he's not really trying to protect. He can look inside middle, try to maybe drive a ball. As it turns out, he doesn't do it when he gets the bat going, and he hits it up on the label. And Perez kind of shuts it down right away, and Buck Showalter right out of the dugout, pointing to the Oriole dugout, or bullpen.
So Chen will leave. The tying run is now at second base. The go-ahead run is at first. And 1 out here in the 6th inning. Change is good, especially when it's your oil getting changed at Jiffy Lube. Give your vehicle relief with regular oil changes at Jiffy Lube. It helps stretch the life of your engine.
innings, scatters 7 hits. It certainly keeps the Orioles in the game. Used all his pitches tonight. Kept the ball in the ballpark. Big strikeout of Billy Butler early on. And then the double play ball to get out of harm's way. And then, of course, fielding your position. Very good fielder is Wei and Chen. So he'll give way to Darren O'Day. There is the line for Wei. 95 pitches. There's a 10-pitch at bat here. Salvador Perez runs that pitch count up. So a lot of ones after you get to the hits. And Darren O'Day, glowing numbers, 8 consecutive scoreless. And the other number you look at, the appearances as you look, is inherited runners. Come in with 12 runners, only 3 have scored. And that's what he will try to do here. Danny Valencia already driving in the 1 run on a sacrifice fly.
Danny, a perfect night. He's also doubled. Outside 1-0. This is as early as O'Day has been in a game as of late. Very oftentimes, Jim, you see managers, and Buck Showalter certainly isn't this type of manager, but managers that slot their relievers, if you will, and leads evaporate in the 6th and 7th inning, and then the back end guys become irrelevant.
So there are a couple of things. First of all, you lost 4 in a row. You're not scoring a lot of runs. I mean, we can throw out that 5.15 runs per game. Ventura's pitching. I mean, he's struck out what, 6 out of the last 8. So doesn't look like is tiring in one thing. So sometimes you bring in your best pitcher at the time you think you need to get some outs.
Oh, he chased a pitch that broke outside.
So wow. This is one of those times, and it doesn't have to be the 7th or 8th innings. You know, you're in a crunch time right here, and there's that big breaking ball. And the other thing that Darren O'Day, I mean, he can rise it, he can sink it, he can throw the front hip, throw it right at the right-handed hitters. It doesn't look like he's going to do it right here, and they give up on it. So a lot of options. That one way outside.
Eight consecutive scoreless appearances for O'Day. He's allowed only 1 run all year. Big spot here. Trying to get out of this jam for Chen. 2-2 on Valencia, 2 on him, 1 out. And he struck him out. He kept going to the same pitch, Jim, and Valencia chased it.
Well, you had options if you're Ned Yost, and you could have had Moustakas, who had the 3-run double, even though he's been struggling as of late, but not yesterday. So this is a good matchup for Darren O'Day. I mean, this ball not even close to being a strike. It started off the plate and continued to be off the plate. So matchups, that's what this game is about. Ned Yost had an option. Just as Buck Showalter thought this was one of the more important times. The opposing manager can feel that way and pinch hit. We're not going to get a lefty because O'Day had to pitch to somebody.
Breaking ball is a strike to Giavatello, who is 0 for 2 in his career against O'Day. If O'Day could get Giavatello, he likely will come out and pitch the 7th. Fly ball right center field, hanging up there. Markakis gets to it, and he has it for the out. Outstanding job by Darren O'Day as he strands 2. Orioles do-ups brought to you by Mazda. Steve Clevenger, J.J. Hardy, and Ryan Flaherty in this 1-run game in Kansas City.
It's walk to Davis, home run, number 11. RBI is 34-35 for Nelson Cruz. Give the Orioles a 2-0 lead. The Orioles will come back with 1 run on the sacrifice fly by Valencia, and then it's Powder River right here. Ace Ventura struck out 7 of the last 9 Orioles, 8 on the evening. All kinds of pitches. So he will now start the 7th inning, having struck out the last 6. Look at those numbers. Actually 9 strikeouts tonight. The 5 hits, and then Wei and Chen cannot lose. Could be the winning pitcher tonight if the bullpen can hold the Royals.
Clevenger slices it to left field. Right there is Gordon. Plays shallow. He's got it for the out. 1 pitch, 1 down.
And of course that is Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
So Ventura working here in the 7th. He is at 96 pitches now. And here's J.J. Hardy.
Just about the miles per hour on his fastball tonight. Even though that 96.6 might have gone up a tick or 2.
Fastball's high, 1-0. There's a strike. Buck Showalter was commenting before the game about how impressed he is with Kansas City's pitching. I mean, they're 3rd in the league overall as Hardy swings. ERA at 3.47. Their starters are 3rd, and the bullpen is 5th. When was the last time you saw a bullpen, Jim, that had just 6 relievers in the pen? That's what Kansas City has because their starters do such a good job eating up innings.
Well, it all started last year when they traded for James Shields. I don't know down the road because he will be a free agent unless they re-sign him. How that's going to play out with Will Myers now wearing a Rays uniform because he looks like he's going to be a big-time young power hitter.
Bounce towards the middle, and that gets through for Hardy, a base hit. So he's got a 2-hit night and a 1-out single. For every Orioles walk, CareFirst Blue Cross Blue Shield contributes $50 to support Be More for Healthy Babies. The Orioles so far have drawn 87 walks for a total of $4,350. CareFirst Blue Cross Blue Shield encourages each of us to take that first step towards a healthier and a more active lifestyle. Already big smile on his face with Hosmer saying, yeah, I got my bat on it.
Well, he doubled the first time. He got a changeup to hit, and he got a curveball. Didn't have to contend with 99.
Ball 1 to Ryan Flaherty.
So they lose Santana. He goes to the Braves, but they get Jason Vargas. That's a nice pickup. He's 4-1. He won yesterday 3-2. So
yeah, this is a good ballpark for him.
I would think it's pretty much good for anybody. If there's anything, you'd rather be a fly ball pitcher in this park, and then somehow be able to throw ground balls when you're on the road. I'm not sure you could pull that off, but that would be the ideal.
Yeah, this is one of the few stadiums left now that still has a symmetrical outfield. Rogers Center does. And here at Kauffman Stadium, it is 330 down the lines, 387 to each gap, and 410 to center field. So the dimensions are the same, left field or right field from home plate. Big everywhere. Flaherty broken bat bloop towards left, and that's going to fall in for a base hit. Thank you very much, and 2 on for the Birds. So back-to-back singles after the fly ball out by Clevenger here in the 7th. Orioles fans can earn rewards for sharing and posting Orioles content on social media by joining the O's Bird's Nest. You can join the conversation now at ozbirdsnest.com. Plus, enter tonight's bonus code SHOWALTER before midnight, and you'll receive 2 bonus tokens and be entered to win a monthly prize of an autographed player photo or a year-end prize of 2 tickets to 2015 opening day. Join the O's Bird's Nest today and start being rewarded. Yordano Ventura will leave as his night is done after 6 1/3. He cannot win, he can lose, and Tim Collins is going to come on for Kansas City in the 7th.
Take a look at Ace Ventura. Boy, was he something tonight. I mean, other than the 2-run home run, the Orioles having trouble making contact, all kinds of pitches. 99, never hit 100, but certainly close to it. Very, very impressive for the 22-year-old right-hander out of the Dominican Republic. So he pitches well, cannot win. Certainly deserved a better fate. Those are the numbers: 9 strikeouts and again only a couple of runs. Even though the 2 runners are his, only 1 walk. And Tim Collins will come on, the lefty, who has really pitched well against the Orioles. 8 2/3 scoreless innings, 10 appearances, and hitters that have faced him, and it's not always the same guys you're facing. 4 for 30.
Here's David Lowe, who will stay in despite the lefty on the mound. And he slaps it foul. Lowe, a former Royal, has never faced Collins.
Well, he certainly knows him because he was a teammate, and this is all about a big ballpark with a 1-run lead, and he's one of your best defensive players, so no reason to pinch hit here. Collins also has the big overhand curveball.
He is the only lefty in the Kansas City bullpen. 6-man bullpen. They have 5 righties and Tim Collins.
And that's fine. This is we always talk about how it's a game of matching up now, but there are pitchers that can get both righties and lefties out, and you can, if you're going to have only 11 pitchers, I mean, that's what you have to have. You have to have people that you feel that can be able to command both sides of the plate, get righties, lefties out, and just not matchup guys.
Well, this bullpen certainly does a good job overall, and it is tough to score on them. Fewest home runs allowed, Jim, per 9 innings by bullpens.
Yep, and they're right there. And
David Lowe goes down on strikes on the foul tip held by Perez, and 2 down.
And so it's a matchup. You have a couple of lefties, and it's just 92. Good movement. Maybe a little cut fastball because it gets fouled off, but right into the glove of Salvador Perez.
Left-handers actually are now 4 for 9 against Collins on the year, as he gets David Lowe. And here's Markakis, who doesn't seem to mind whether it's a righty or a lefty out there. Nick batting .220 on the year against left-handed pitching.
Yeah, typical year he's going to be somewhere. I mean, .292 lifetime hitter is going to be somewhere at least around the .270, .280 mark.
Orioles trying to add on a run here, have first and second and 2 down.
And they really play him shallow in the outfield.
Breaking ball in the inside corner.
And there's the hook. Yeah, Gordon 17 assists last year. He's playing like he's playing at Fenway Park. So shallow, he's playing left.
Well, even though Markakis can hit the ball that way with authority. Doesn't chase. 1 and 2. If Nick hits a line drive over the shortstop's head, it's going to roll forever. Gordon is so shallow.
You know, it's percentage baseball. You're down by a run. You don't want to give anybody, and then you hope your pitcher will make a quality pitch. You know, we give you the speed of the ball off the bat. If you stay out of the middle of the plate, it goes down. Simple as that.
Just outside. 2 and 2.
Well, there was Perez trying to frame a ball just off the corner. It didn't appear to be as close as the fans thought it was.
And a good cut, fouled it back. Count holds 2 and 2 on Nick. 19 1/3 consecutive scoreless innings by this Kansas City bullpen. That's a total of 8 consecutive games. They actually have 20 strikeouts in that span, so more strikeouts than innings by 2/3 of an inning. Ground ball towards the hole. That's a base hit. Hardy being sent. He's around third. Here comes Hardy. Here comes the throw of Gordon. He is out at the plate. Somehow Perez got the tag down.
He got it down because Gordon was playing right behind shortstop. charge the ball. Throws better than any left fielder in baseball, and the ball gets there early enough for Perez to put the sweeping tag on. And you can see he's not in the baseline, but I'll tell you, I'm surprised Buck doesn't come out to talk about this.
So that's how the top of the 7th ends. 7th inning stretch, 2-1 O's. Miller time, brought to you by Miller Lite. Darren O'Day is on. He's stranded a couple of runners in the 6th as he got a strikeout of Valencia, and then the fly ball off the bat of Giavatello. That's stranded 2, and the Orioles maintain their lead. Those have Hardy gunned down at the plate to end the top of the 7th, and O'Day stays on.
And the amazing number for the Royals, and they come in at 20 wins and 19 losses, is they're 3-8 in one-run games, even though the bullpen has been as good as they have, and the Orioles are 9-3 in one-run games to this point in the season.
Righty lefty for Kansas City in the 7th. Here's Lorenzo Cain. Escobar will follow, then Nori Aoki, the leadoff hitter. Cain 1 out of 2. He's hit 2 ground balls. 1 found the hole, 1 found Hardy's glove. Strike on the outside corner. Cain is 0 for 1 against O'Day. Got Wieters traveling with the team, getting his work in. And not caught that bullpen session today. Wants to keep the legs fresh and strong. Ground ball right to first. Davis had him played there and 1 away in the 7th.
Yeah, quality pitch. Nice approach by Cain. Just couldn't do much with it. It was just too good a pitch to hit well.
Troy Patton now getting loose after Escobar. Back-to-back lefties come up for Kansas City. Orioles now back to 4 right-handers and 3 left-handers in the bullpen, with Evan Meek rejoining the team today. Miguel Gonzalez worked in relief yesterday. He's now back on the bench and in the mix for his next start. Huge foul, 0-1. Escobar out of Venezuela, spent 3 seasons in Milwaukee, then was traded here. Now in his 4th year with Kansas City.
Yeah, part of that Zach Greinke deal, as was Cain.
Yep.
A lot of players or quality pitcher who's now with the Dodgers.
This guy's an exciting player.
He can do a lot of things. Very rangy shortstop. And a couple of years ago, 35 steals. Last year, 20 of them.
Broken bat off the glove of O'Day. He gets to it and fires to first. Nicely done at 2 men down.
I thought I was going to see maybe an over-the-top throw, but it wasn't. Knocked it down. Okay, let's see. What arm angle? Maybe,
sort of sidearm.
Yeah, kind of sidearm.
Maybe he didn't submarine it.
Maybe that's his over the top
yeah,
for Darren.
That's overhand for him.
I told Mariano Rivera just one time before you retire. You never an overhand curveball. Give me.
Did he know how to throw one?
I don't care.
He never needed it.
Every time I'd see him, I said, "How's that knuckleball coming?" And he would just laugh.
So here's Aoki batting with the bases empty. Machado's going to play tight at third. Foul down, got a piece of Brian O'Nora, 0-1. Brian's having a great night behind the plate, and that's how they treat him.
He's trying to stay warm. Ooh, left arm.
Clevenger does a nice thing. He goes out to talk to O'Day. So
yeah, not like the old days when I first came up in the American League, never the National League. They used to have the inside protector in the National League and the big bubble. And that's everybody used to say, what's the difference between the leagues? I said, well, Hank Aaron plays over there, Frank Robinson plays here, but the umpires maybe got a little bit lower because of that inside protector. And now they all wear that. So behind that shirt, but it doesn't protect. The bubble kind of protected your arms. It's like a shield, but you didn't get down as low.
Swing and a miss. What a breaking ball that was. Wow.
Well, it's just
got to be so hard to time it.
Well, it's not only the timing, it's the release point. How many guys throw from this arm angle? You know, they're looking for a certain window. That window's usually up about shoulder to over your, your to the right of your head. And now all of a sudden you're almost throwing one from right around the dirt of the rubber.
The count holding 0-2 on Aoki, who that swing, that's why he's a slap hitter.
Oh, that's right. 140 singles last year. Probably shorten up a step or two. Don't want to keep the infield hit away.
And a little low.
Yeah, there's the changeup, I think. And he did win 3 batting titles in Japan.
Acquired from Milwaukee. So the Royals and the Brewers have a lot of trade history together. Line foul the other way. We invite you to join Rob Long, Jim Duquette, Holden Kushner, and Mel Antonin tomorrow, 5 until 6:30, as the O's continue their series with the Royals. MLB Network analyst Darryl Hamilton will join the guys at 5:30. They'll talk about the Orioles up to this point in the season. That's tomorrow at 5, Mid-Atlantic Sports Report on Massey. Count holding 1-2 on Aoki. And line foul again the other way. So O'Day keeps working him out there. So Aoki's determined to slap one down the line for a base hit.
Yeah, he's just trying to keep the front shoulder closed enough to cover the entire plate.
This will be the 7th pitch in this at bat.
See, so stands a little bit open, but the front shoulder is closed.
Bounce towards the hole. Machado to his left. He spins around and fires, and he got him by a step. Manny Machado with that gun of an arm, and he gets his man. So O'Day faces 5 batters. He's retired all 5 and gets some help from Mr. Platinum. 2-1 game as we head to the 8th. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Orioles and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Orioles. Well, what a game we have here in Kansas City. Birds lead it 2-1 on the 2-run home run by Nelson Cruz. Kansas City with the bases loaded got a sac fly from Danny Valencia. And as we go to the 8th, Jim, another new pitcher on for Kansas City.
Yeah, out of Louisiana State University, Ben McDonald, former #1 draft choice's alma mater. A nice little breaking ball. Done a nice job for him. You can see righties hitting them better than lefties. Good breaking ball, pretty good fastball, 92 to 94. Last year, up and down the last couple of years, but last year, 27 games, 3-0 with an ERA of 0.61. Kind of deceptive because if you're right-handed, and surprised the numbers are that high, he kind of steps right at you.
Manny singled in the first. He's also grounded out and struck out. Swings through the breaking ball, and it's 0-2.
Yeah, that's the equalizer there.
Outside 1-2. Manny has only 2 at-bats against Coleman in his career, and he's 0 for 2. The Orioles don't see the Central teams that often. Usually it's 1 series at your place and 1 series at their place.
Yeah, maybe 6 or, in this case, 7 games. This is back-to-back year. The Orioles have had 4-game series here in Kansas City.
Good eye, ball 3.
Well, I think he looked at one breaking ball that he swung through, and all of a sudden he's able to maybe time it, pick it up a little bit, make it a little more discernible. What you're looking for out of the hand. What is it? Speed of the ball sometimes tell you fastball or breaking ball.
And Machado's got a base hit. Well, he earned that. So he is on with the leadoff single as the Birds look for some insurance here. Voting for the All-Star game is underway. Orioles.com/vote-orange. You can vote for your favorite O's up to 35 times with each email address. Plus, all fans who vote at least 25 times and select the O's as their favorite team receive a voucher good for $10 off any box seat or $5 off any reserve seat for one of the 3 games against the Angels, July 29th through the 31st. One lucky fan who votes 35 times will also receive a 2014 All-Star Game jersey autographed by the Orioles All-Stars. So vote early, vote often, vote orange. Orioles.com/vote-orange.
This is really no slight to Lewis Coleman, but after Ventura leaves with the kind of stuff he had tonight, it's like going on vacation. You still have to hope you get a good pitch to hit, but that's how good Yordano Ventura was. Only the walk to Davis and the home run to Cruz in the 4th.
Adam is 0 for 3. Trying to extend his hitting streak to 10 straight. Coleman gets ahead of him 0-2. Adam has had back-to-back multi-hit games. He's got 12 multi-hit games on the year.
Another nice play by Perez. Yeah, Coleman, pretty much rushed to AAA in the big leagues. Signed in 2009, 5th round out of LSU. 1 year A-ball, and then right to AA, AAA the next year, 2011, up and down. And then the next year up and down, then last year up and down.
1-2 on Jones. And another good take.
Well, they saw him in Baltimore, so you kind of know what he does. And every pitch has been away. Nothing in. And I'm sure they know that. What's your tendency? Are you better to your glove side, which would be low and away to a right-hander, or are you better to your arm side?
Machado is at first with nobody down as the Orioles try to get some insurance here. Buck Showalter and the Birds with that slim 2-1 lead. Fouled straight down.
There's a sinking fastball. Yeah, we saw that in the first of the Tiger-Oriole games. It was 2-1 Tigers, and then Kinsler hit that home run. You're always trying to add runs. And of course, Kansas City doesn't want you to, but a little more breathing room for your bullpen.
2-2. And a base hit up the middle for Adam Jones. Boy, another patient at bat against Coleman, and Jones extends his hitting streak to 10 in a row.
Well, what Adam does so well is he covers the outside part of the plate. Jim Presley, the hitting instructor, Jim was a home run strikeout guy, but he said, you know what, with 2 strikes, you start looking away, you make the guy throw the ball by you, and you can't do it at 87. So a terrific at bat, not a horrible pitch, but a better approach by Adam Jones to keep that hitting streak alive.
So here is Ned Yost. He'll go to his bullpen. Coleman comes on, gives up back-to-back hits. He has not yet signaled, but he has Kelvin Herrera out there ready.
Yeah, so Herrera throws close to 100. And he's been throwing strikes. Last year they had to send him out. So you go from a kind of a finesse right-hander to a power right-hander.
So Coleman leaves. Herrera comes on. The Orioles have 2 on and none out in the 8th.
Right-hander out of the Dominican Republic. He comes on. I mean, and not only is a fastball, he throws it 86% of the time, anywhere 95 to 100. A hard breaking ball. Changeup is like hitting wind shear. So there are the numbers. He's on one of these streaks where he has not given up a run in his last 10 outings. That's over 10 in the 3rd innings pitch. So the ERA 1.47. He has given up 50% of the last 8 inherited runners, and against the Orioles, 1 run in 10 in the 3rd innings. So the Orioles, what, it was that 19 2/3 innings of scoreless ball by their bullpen. The Orioles want to put a dent in that.
Yeah, it's now 20 in the 3rd with the 2 outs by Collins. Here's Chris Davis, ball 1 outside. Yep, it's cold. It's supposed to be spring.
No, not here. Everybody was saying, where's global warming when you need it?
Not here. Davis swings through it, 1-1.
By Sunday.
Just in time to leave.
No, well, just in time for the afternoon.
Oh, you mean for the day game?
Yeah, the day game.
Machado at second, Jones at first. They can't overshift on Davis with a runner at second. So Valencia is over by third base. A lot of room by the shortstop side.
We saw Ventura throwing 94 to 99, and this one's 98, and it's perfectly placed underneath his fist.
And 1-2 on Davis, who is 1 for 5 in his career against Herrera. Davis down on strikes, 1 away.
Well, almost hit triple digits at 99. Well, it's nice if you're Ned Yost to have these kind of arms coming out of your bullpen, especially when you have a couple of guys in running scoring position. This is just, hey, can you hit my best fastball? And Buck Showalter was talking about it when he was talking about Ventura. That's not only 99. Did you see the late run?
Mm-hmm.
So you're trying to get the good part of the bat, barrel it up, as they say, and hard to do at 99 with movement. And then that one. It's like being in when you were a kid and you had the wiffle ball and you could make it pretty much do anything you want.
Cruz definitely looking fastball there. Another breaking ball. This one's low.
And they're good breaking balls. Now, whether he can consistently throw them over the course of a season, that was the problem last year. Right before the Orioles got here, which was July, they sent him down to AAA Omaha because he was having trouble commanding. But young, as we mentioned, 24.
Signed with the Royals for the 2007 season, and he came along very slowly. Pitched into the Dominican League his first year as a pro. Then to Burlington in low A ball. Finally, by 2011, his 5th year, he made it to the Carolina League at Wilmington. And 2 on Cruz.
There's an 89-mile-per-hour changeup. Well, Nelson Cruz hit about a 96-mile-per-hour fastball for the only 2 Oriole runs. And that was the deep right center field. Wind not blowing at all now.
And he gets Cruz.
So there's another changeup. So there's your, 10-mile-per-hour difference. 99 with a fastball to Chris Davis. 89 with a good moving changeup.
Orioles have now struck out 12 times in this game. Ties a season high. They've done it now 3 times. Ball 1 to Clevenger. So it was 1st and 2nd and nobody out. Now it's 1st and 2nd with 2 outs.
Yeah, the order of where you are in your batting order certainly dictates sometimes whether you play small ball or you. So again, you get the first 2 guys on, and all of a sudden you bring in Herrera, and you're not going to bunt with Chris Davis. There's another changeup. Bottom's dropping out. He gives you, and maybe, I mean, he's very much like Fernando Rodney, who we've seen over the years. Now with the Mariners.
Davis and Cruz looking out on him saying, what? Swept towards first. Hosmer has it. The flip to Herrera, who gets there ahead of Clevenger for the out. So Herrera does a nice job. And the Orioles strand 2. Mid-8th in Kansas City, 2-1 O's.
Yes. Brian has pitched in 7 straight scoreless appearances, and Zach Britton lights out all year long. Troy Patton back off the suspended list, pitched yesterday, and he will come in here to pitch in the 8th inning. And there are the numbers, and Eric Hosmer going to lead it off for the Royals, number 2 hitter here in the 8th inning, and right behind Ryan Webb warming up in the Oriole bullpen. So they got lefty, righties, and
Madison Webb getting loose. They're back-to-back righties after Hosmer, who leads off this inning, and then another lefty, Alex Gordon.
So you're kind of wondering, when you don't see Zach Britton, might he be the closer tonight if we get to that point? We'll certainly hope it. Now it's all about Troy Patton as he faces 2, 3, 4, or at least the second hitter here in the 8th inning.
Hosmer's 1 out of 3. He is 0 for 3 against Patton in their head-to-heads. All 1 low. Patton worked in 3 of the 6 games on the homestand, including a scoreless inning yesterday. There's a strike.
Perfect strike.
And rolled foul, 1 and 2.
Yeah, certainly not an easy out. Came in hitting .260 against left-handers. Much better against the righties. In fact, the only home run he's hit to this point against right-handers. .324 hitter from when you get a guy with his right hand flinging.
Strike 3 called, and he knew it. He just turned and walked away. So looking for a breaking ball, didn't get it. And Patton gets his man, and that's going to be his only man.
Yeah, and he makes a perfect pitch. I mean, early on, he established a really good slider and then just buzzes the outside corner. 89-mile-per-hour, well-located fastball. 1 batter, 1 out.
So Patton leaves. Ryan Webb will come on as Butler and Perez will come up. Orioles clinging to a 1-run lead. Along with MLB.com at bat on your favorite mobile phone or tablet. At Bat brings you baseball wherever you are with live look-ins, instant replays, scores, stats, highlights. You get audio, free MLB.tv game of the day, classic games, and much, much more. Download the award-winning MLB.com at bat. Just go to the App Store or visit Orioles.com today.
Ryan Webb comes on, 18th appearance. The ERA, I mean, really good since early on. Gave up a couple of runs in his first 2 appearances for the Orioles, and since then You can see lefties hit him a little bit better. The righties at 222, which is what Billy Butler does, who's going to step to the plate, and the only home run against right-handers. So sinker ball slider, very rarely will throw anything but that. When the ball's diving, a lot of ground balls. That's what he does.
Butler is 0 for 3. Falls behind 0-1. Webb also pitched yesterday. Scoreless inning against the Tigers. 50-foot breaking ball.
Yeah, a little more than that. 57 feet, whatever. 60 feet 6 inches. Maybe not that quite when he releases it because he's about 6'6".
Webb has gone 4 straight scoreless appearances, and he has 2 wins in that span. Foul back this way.
And Billy Butler sees a spinning breaking ball and chases it, as it turns out, the ball out of the zone. And they play him a little bit to right. There's Adam Jones over in right center field. A lot of room to left field.
Just got a piece to stay alive.
I think one of the difficult things when you talk to all the hitting instructors, and I used to pitch here, and the reason it was tough to beat the Royals then is because they used every inch of the ballpark. It was turf. And when Billy Butler's hitting well, that's what he does. I mean, he can hit it right over the first base bag with the best of them.
Tried to go that way and he fouled it off.
Yeah, I think right now he's just trying to stay alive with 2 strikes, but his ability, again, from all the way from the right field foul line to pretty much left center, he's not much of a pull hitter unless you hang a breaking ball. And that's how he had 51 doubles 4 years ago.
6th pitch of this at bat. Hardy. 2 down in the Kansas City 8th.
So you get a couple of fastballs that hit nothing in the middle of the plate, and then the perfect slider. It looks so much like a fastball that it's hard to elevate it, and he hit it to the wrong guy.
There's Salvador Perez. He has singled, he has walked, and he hit a comebacker to Chen. This is Wei-Yin's Chen's game to win. The bullpen is doing outstanding work here. 2 1/3 innings so far, scoreless.
There's a sinking action. Well, when you throw a good sinker, you just get down on it, and then you stay on the left side. As you look at Crow, he's at 18 consecutive scoreless appearances in a row. And then you got your closer, last year's All-Star, Greg Holland. He had the overpowering stuff.
And a bloop wide of first. Davis was wide of the bag, and he won't be able to get there.
He flips it to somebody over the dugout, and then they muffed it. Souvenir. Very nice gesture. A little toss. Should have brought the glove. Look at them. They go, how did we do that? I can tell you how. It's easy. They didn't have their gloves like we do. You're one glove Jimmy tonight.
I was trying to write with the. I can't write with it on it. I tried. So it's here, but it's. Tommy Hunter, Brian Mattis now in the pen. Two and 2 the count on Salvador Perez. And Webb gets it. Real good slider. So the bullpen has gone 2 2/3 scoreless. We head to the ninth in a 1-run game. Brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Find Southwest Airlines fares online only at southwest.com. Well, there is the little K that is out there beyond left field. And kids can go take some hacks during the game, and they can dream. They play at the little K tonight, and maybe someday play at the big K, and that guy just hit one out. So it's a 2-1 game as we go to the ninth, and Ned Yost goes to his bullpen again.
Yeah, and why not? He brings in Aaron Crow, working on 18 consecutive of innings without giving up a run. In fact, he's the only major league pitcher that's pitched 15 innings or more that hasn't done that. Last year, 19 holes, 7-5 record. So former #1 pick of the Nationals did not sign, then signed with Kansas City in 2009.
Hardy takes a strike, Flaherty on deck, and then David Lowe's spot. Rose would love to get an insurance run here. For Kansas City, Gordon, Valencia, and Giavotella are due up in the ninth. Ned Yost does have a 5-man bench, including Mike Moustakas, who has been struggling but is still a threat.
Yeah, a 3-run double yesterday for all 3 runs. Nice little breaking ball there. So 92, 93. And he's been on a roll. He that 18 consecutive scoreless appearances ties Lewis's Coleman's of LSU, who we saw earlier, something he did last year.
Strike 3 call, breaking ball in the inside corner.
Yeah, I think he just gives up on it. One down and away, and this one just kind of filters, and you can see Perez, big, strong guy, just kind of holds the target there. So Zach Britton getting ready to pitch the ninth inning for the Orioles.
Here's Ryan Flaherty, is 1 out of 3. When Tommy Hunter was charged with his 3rd blown save the other night, Buck Showalter was asked the next day if he would make a change. He said, well, we're thinking about it. We got options. As Flaherty pops it up to left center field. Gordon calls off Kane. 2 down in the Oriole ninth. And when asked if Zach Britton's stuff equates to the ninth inning versus any other inning, all he said was yes.
Well, he did. And what he also said is that is at least a little bit shorter with Tommy Hunter than it was with Jim Johnson. He said, yeah, track record. Jim Johnson, after Kevin Gregg kind of imploded late in 2011, Jim Johnson got the job and would save 104 games over the next 2 years, now playing and pitching with the Oakland A's.
0-1 on David Lowe.
So a lot of movement from Aaron Crow. 92, 93. Ball hasn't been in the middle of the plate. Nice little breaking ball. Right at the knees. Hard to elevate the ball. Doesn't give you much leverage. And his job is just to get them up with the score exactly the way it is.
Aaron Crow was a first-round draft pick twice. He was selected by the Nationals 9th overall in 2008. And he wanted so much money, the Nationals eventually just let him go. He didn't sign there. And then the following year, he was drafted in the first round with 12th overall to Kansas City.
Yeah, wasn't there something with Drew Storen? I think, didn't they pick him maybe instead, or something in there? But
as a comp pick, maybe?
Yeah.
Low to center field, Kane in on it. And the Orioles go 3 up and 3 down in the 9th. Well, here we go. Buckle up. We head to the bottom of the 9th. Zach Britton will come on to try to earn the save. 2-1 O's. Dugout up on that bench. We want to get a good look at this as Zach Britton comes on to try to earn the save.
Yeah, he has never had a major league save, so he's been pitching that well. Tommy Hunter, a little bit of struggles. Certainly manned up and said, I need to get a little bit better, but that will not be the case, at least tonight. Look at those numbers. So again, the ability to keep the ball in the ballpark, with one exception. Righties and lefties hitting about the same. And you just wonder, I hope he just goes about his business. His sinker has been so good that you just hope that that's what he'll do. Very rarely throws a breaking ball. It's a good matchup. Back at Gordon left-handed. Britton gets, of course, righties and lefties out. So here you go. Toughest save you can have, a one-run variety.
Alex Gordon will lead off.
Those are some nice numbers. 6 for 8 lifetime off of Zach Britton.
And of course, with a closer trying to protect a one-run lead, you look to see what about home runs allowed. Zach has allowed only 1, and that was to David Ross, the backup catcher of the Red Sox, that Patriots Day game at Fenway Park. It was a solo home run. That was April 21st.
Well, this is obviously not about matchups if he's 6 for 8 lifetime. But I think, again, the Zach Britton we have seen in the past, in the one, and of course 6 for 8 with a home run, this is a whole different version. Simplified the windup. What do you do best? Throw the sinker. Yeah, he does have a breaking ball and a changeup to go with it. But right here, it's one pitch at a time, one batter at a time.
John Russell, Buck Showalter anxiously looking on. Second base. Clarity's there. 1 away in the 9th.
So again, 6 for 8, now 6 for 9, because this is the 2014 version. It all started in spring training. So there, we talked about the Royals are 3-8 in one-run ball games. The Orioles are 9-3 after going what they go the year before, 25-9 in 2012. They go to 21-13, and so a lot of close ball games. And then don't want to be playing them in extra innings.
And here's Danny Valencia, who drove in the Royals run. Just missed a grand slam back in the 4th.
Yeah, it might have been kept in by the wind. Certainly, wind was blowing across the field at that time.
Now Britton coming on, first chance here. Tommy Hunter struggling as of late, so Zach gets a chance. Let me ask you about the mental part of this. I'm sure you want to get your pitcher, you want to get outs, but these are the final 3 outs.
Doesn't matter. That's the whole thing. Tommy Hunter, he had a harder job last year. The only thing different is if it's in your head, because Tommy can't. Well, but everybody's different.
Mm-hmm.
You talk to John Wetland, terrific closer. In fact, Mariano Rivera took his job in 1997 after he left, went to the Rangers. He said it was about fate. Dennis Eckersley, a good friend of mine. Hey, sometimes fear is a great motivator, but they were able to pitch and be able to control their emotions. But if you look at closing, most of the time it's, can you get 3 hitters out, and can you make your pitches, and you can not get out of sorts.
1-2 on Valencia.
And if any doubt right here, you better come out and talk about it. We want to be on the same page, and fans are going to maybe make a little bit of noise, but it's a matter of it. And Zach Britton, don't think he doesn't know and doesn't respect Danny Valencia. He saw him play last year, so he has power. He knows he's a good high ball hitter, much better high ball hitter than low ball hitter. Likes to get his arms extended, and he's more of a pull hitter.
Just missed outside, couldn't get him to chase it. Zach has not worked since last Saturday against Houston, so he is well rested.
Yeah, he was talking about you just try to stay sharp. You do your little sides to try to prepare for it.
Outside, ball 3.
And all they want to do, of course, is get the potential winning run to the plate and get the tying run on.
Well, Valencia was 0-2, and now the count full.
Well, just a sinker away. And that's what he does.
A 3-2 pitch, a second one coming here to Valencia. To Hardy. 2 down.
So that was the theme all spring long. Tom Cheney, the bullpen pitching coach, who used to pitch for the Orioles. Hey, let's learn how to sink the ball. That's all you got to think about. Don't worry about mechanics. Where's your release point? Now he also has a healthy Zach Britton. And they're just kind of
the defensive charts, I would think, right?
Yeah. Well, you got to play him a couple of steps to the opposite field. And Nick Markakis will move over, take away the right field line. I mean, not down the line, but any ball that's going to slice this way is going to go away from him. So, and any ball to his right will come back to him. And then Adam Jones probably about 4 or 5 steps. So a lot of room down the left field line because they figure Vitello won't be pulling the ball.
It was interesting watching that. Bobby Dickerson had the book, Buck Showalter inquiring, and Matt Wieters was there helping out. So on the DL and still trying to contribute.
Yeah, even the infielders.
And to Hardy, a big bouncer. And the Orioles get the win to snap the losing streak, and Zach Britton A 3-up, 3-down ninth inning, gets his first major league save. What a night for the O's. A 2-run home run by Nelson Cruz holds up in the fourth, and tonight it was all about the pitching.
Well, exactly, and again, you haven't scored more than 3 runs in the last 6 games. Now make it 7 games. But what is Kansas City, and what have they been doing? They had won 6 out of 8. They outpitched you tonight, a little bit different. Obviously, Ventura pitched a marvelous game, but Chen and the bullpen, O'Day, the cast of thousands tonight really gets the job done here.
So we hope you can join us again tomorrow. More O's action. Game 2 of the series. It'll be Chris Tillman on the mound against Jeremy Guthrie. Our coverage begins at 7:30 on MASN 2 with O's Extra presented by Dodge. And then game action at 8 o'clock. And now for Jim Palmer and our entire hardworking crew. Jim Hunter saying so long from Kansas City, where the Orioles win it by the final of 2-1. Tonight's telecast has been a MASN presentation. Tom and Rick, O's Extra presented by PNC, comes your way right now. Orioles win it 2-1.